I'm that Cyclops guy. I'm pretty sure you can figure out why they call me that. Or not. You can find me on all of the socials, including Twitch, Kick, TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, and YouTube with that_Cyclops_guy. I'm a variety streamer. I play a ton of different games, everything from Tetris to Grand Theft Auto and everything in between.
Let's do this. Hey everyone, Koimiya X here, dad by day, gamer by night, sometimes streamer, aka old man. I give the hot takes here at Garbage In, Garbage Out that nobody has asked for. I am a variety streamer that has been streaming for 13 years now. I've been on every big platform and several small ones that don't exist anymore. If you want the most recent up-to-date information about me, just follow me on Twitter at Koimiya X. I like to collect autographed Funko Pops, football jerseys, and comics.
What's up, losers? Neodeath here, and welcome to my graveyard. I'm the third host of Garbage In, Garbage Out. We've been doing this for 3 months with all of us together. I've also been streaming the same amount of time. I stream on Twitch and then repost daily on YouTube, so go check those out. Fun little fact about me is I also love Lego. We've been having a blast doing this, communicating with fans, and also talking about gaming and entertainment news from the week.
And we would like to welcome you
to
Garbage In, Garbage Out.
That is still the funniest intro that I think I've ever seen. Koimiya, I'm not hearing your audio.
Take the audio off for me.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, so how's everything going?
It's going. Mutedly as usual. I hear good guest today.
Yeah, we've got a really great guest today. We will be having iRacing legend Matt Malone come on the show in just a couple of minutes here. What's going on with Neodeath here? He looks like he's got a friend with him, and maybe...
we got Fred there, and Ed, I think I was told.
Yeah, Ed and Fred. Of course, they're going to be sitting in here until Neodeath can bring us, get on here. He will be joining us in just a couple minutes. He had to work, and he's actually on his way home right now, so probably give him another 5 minutes, and he will be here.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm really
excited.
Let's
get Matt here.
Huh?
Let's get Matt here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited. Let's welcome in iRacing legend streamer, Matt Malone. Matt, how's it going?
Hey, guys. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Welcome. I'm glad to have you.
Yeah, I love that intro, by the way. Was that pre-taped or something, or did you do that live?
No, pre-taped.
Oh, okay. I was like,
yeah.
well, that's
and it's actually my niece and nephew that say Garbage In, Garbage Out. So
awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on here. Yeah, I was kind of talking to you a little bit before the show started. So I didn't know that Matt was actually a streamer. So for the uninitiated, Matt and I actually grew up together. I think, was it about 6th grade that we met each other? Probably. I think it was study hall.
School. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were sitting right behind me, and we got to know each other there. And I moved away in high school. Didn't even know that Matt had started streaming until one day I'm playing Wolfenstein, and all of a sudden he's raiding in with like hundreds of people. I go from like 2 people to like hundreds, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? And I was like, as I'm clicking up there to try and find who it is. I'm like, Matt Malone, the guy from school. And then
here I am, my own little place on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cyclops, it says that your audio is behind. And I do notice that StreamYard is having issues connecting to your Twitch.
Okay. That should fix the audio problem. Let me know if you're still having... Okay, it says there it is. Yeah, that's...
The needs a clutch.
The price of doing things on the internet is technical issues.
Yeah, especially when you have like multiple feeds and different people in, and yeah, it can be a real nightmare.
Well, I think also it's like this is the first time where Cyclops is running his OBS for all of your raiders, and then StreamYard is also trying to send their own signal to his Twitch as well. And so I think that's where the issue is lying.
So I got to say that background that you have there, that is amazing. That, you know, with all the lights and all the everything you got going on back there. For a minute,
Yeah.
I thought it was a green screen when I first saw it, and I was like, no, that's actually real.
No, yeah, we moved into this house a couple years ago, and I got this room, my own canvas to do whatever I wanted with it. So I found some panels, and I got the Philips Hue lights that kind of work with the stream and everything. So if someone subs to the channel or raids, like the lights flash, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I always notice you've got like different steering wheels that you're using. Do you just determine which kind of race that you're on if you decide to do that, or is it like because a sponsor says, "Hey, you have to use ours for a certain length of time"? Or
No, yeah. So yeah, with racing, depending on the car that you drive, will determine the type of rim that you'll use. So like sometimes if I'm doing oval, I have like a huge, USA oval wheel, or if I'm doing like GT3 or like some open wheel stuff, then that'll give you like a smaller like rim like that, like an open wheeler, or if you're racing Mazda or something. So yeah, depending on what I'm racing, it'll determine the rim that I throw on the base,
yeah,
It just gives you a better feel.
Yeah, I was always wondering because I'm working a lot of times when I'm able to watch your streams, and I will kind of look over to the screen and I'll be like, "Why is he all of a sudden like just pulling this wheel off and putting this other one?" Because I got to keep you on mute a lot of the time.
Yeah,
too.
I got a bunch of rims all over the place, because I am sponsored by Ace Attack, and they do make a lot of rims, but I have other third-party rims as well. So yeah, that's
nice.
just when you get into the rabbit hole of sim racing, the equipment rabbit hole comes with it,
And then the wheels have like haptic feedback and all that, I'm imagining.
Yeah, because of the wheelbase itself.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what gives all the force, and
Okay.
yeah, it's just a huge electric motor, and they're pretty substantial nowadays. Like the technology's come a long way since I got started. Because you can imagine, like, you've probably seen like a Logitech wheel that kind of just sits on a desk, and that's kind of how everyone starts. But nowadays you can spend $2,000 on just the wheelbase,
Yeah.
and it'll rip your arms off, and that's just sending you all the forces from the game into your hands, like feeling the car and stuff like that. So it's pretty insane.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So well, let me ask you though. So you mentioned things have changed a lot since you got started. So how did you first get into sim racing, and what was really the early experiences like compared to how it is now?
Yeah, good question. I always just liked, racing games in general. I mean, we're the same age. We grew up with playing Nintendo and then Super Nintendo.
I remember talking to you about it.
Yeah. So it's just like, that's kind of our generation, is we got to see the full, full range of all the consoles as it came up. And I always kind of gravitated towards like the racing games, but it wasn't really until like Xbox 360 and they had the Forza Motorsports games on Xbox. Yeah. And those were, and then we were starting to get a little bit more like, okay, this can actually be done with these graphics. Like this is, everything looks kind of real, and then I'm like, okay, well, can I play Forza with a steering wheel? And sure enough, you can. And at that time, Microsoft actually made their own, they called it like the Microsoft wireless force feedback wheel and pedal set. I got it from GameStop. And, the thing is a piece of junk, but like, at least I had a wheel in my hands and and I felt something, cause it's just way better than just sitting there with a controller, and that's kind of how I started. And I went through like 3 Xbox 360s because of the red ring of death.
The like, red ring.
And then my brother kind of got me into PC gaming, and he was big into like Half-Life 2 and all that stuff. And he's like, well, you need to just build your own computer. And, so I did. And then I'm like, okay, well, now I'm working with something. And then I was actually wanting to upgrade because I was still playing Forza on the Xbox, even though I had a PC. And I didn't really use the PC too much because I was still playing Forza. And I was like, man, there's got to be a better wheel out there, So
Mhm.
then I
Right.
started looking at review videos about, racing equipment, racing wheels and pedals. And I found out about Fanatic, which they're huge in sim racing equipment. And the video I was watching, they were testing the equipment on a game called iRacing. And I was like, whoa, what's this iRacing thing? This looks like way too real. And I was a little intimidated at first, but I'm like, well, I got this computer. I'm like, maybe I'll get this equipment and try out this game that I just found. And I was super intimidated at first because I'm like, this is like a simulation. It's not a game,
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple days into it, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'm like, this is real. Driving Mazdas, and it was cool because I like the multiplayer aspect of it. Because in Forza, I would always jump into a multiplayer race, like matchmaking. I didn't like playing by myself or the AI or time trials. I
Right.
always like to race against other people. And that's literally what 95% of iRacing is just racing against real people on a real track. So that's kind of how I got started. And that was 2013, I think, is when I got iRacing for the first time. So a long time ago.
That sounds like a good run, though.
Yeah.
So in
Thank
your
you, Fred and Ed.
Then here he comes.
oh, there's Neo.
Very
In your
nice of you to take over for me.
What's up?
he's got to get his headphones on there. There we go.
How's it going, everybody? Sorry about that. These jokers, they just like to take over.
So yeah, Neodeath actually had to work a little bit today because bills and stuff.
Little
But-
bit. 9 hours is not a little bit.
Oh, geez.
And Matt was just telling us how he had just gotten started in iRacing and has been doing that since 2013. And so I was gonna ask him though. So like in your spare time, do you play other games other than racing games, or do you play racing games like just the whole time?
Yeah, sometimes I'll dabble. Like I played Indiana Jones, like
Okay.
whenever it came out, and
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that because I love Indiana Jones. And
Those two love that one as well.
Yeah,
that,
that was
game,
so
that
fun.
game was so good. Like it hit all the nostalgia points, for me. And I didn't quite finish it, and now I hear there's a new DLC for it.
Yeah.
But it scratched my itch for the nostalgia, so I don't know.
And then, as far as like racing games, do you prefer like Forza over Gran Turismo, or?
I don't have too much of an opinion anymore about like the console racing games. And I'm pretty hardcore into iRacing. I have recently been branching out into other like PC simulators like ACC.
Okay.
And I tried LMU recently, so I'm trying to branch out a little bit. But
Is that just because the iRacing is so realistic that the other ones just don't compare? Or
I would say the online community for iRacing doesn't compare with anything else. Is that
Okay.
I can always get into a public ranked match. There's
Mhm.
there's no shortage of like different cars and tracks that I can race on iRacing.
right.
Okay.
So that's the biggest aspect of it.
Now, is anything like locked behind a paywall, or do you like just buy the game and you're good to go?
No, the iRacing, it's the common term for it is iRenting because it's subscription based.
Okay.
Like I forget how much exactly it is per month, but you can
Oh,
get
boy.
like Black Friday deals and pay like a couple $100 for like 2 years of service or something. And then
Gotcha.
each car and track costs money.
Right.
So if they come out with new content, each car and track is like $12-15 a pop. But that's just a one-time payment, and then you have it. But
Okay.
yeah, it's subscription based and a bunch of DLC. I think somebody said if you were to be a brand new member to iRacing and forget about the monthly payment, but if you wanted to buy all the content in iRacing, it'd be like $2,000 or something.
Oh, geez.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's insane. But there's some discounts you can get here and there. But yeah, and I've just been so lucky enough to have because if people use like your referral link when they sign up to iRacing, like I'll get a $10 gift card.
Okay.
And over
okay.
the years, I've gotten quite a bit of that. So I've been blessed enough not to really have to pay with my own money with a lot of this content. So
Right.
thanks to the community. But
So obviously you're a fan of racing. What made you decide to do like digital sim racing instead of getting into something like, like NASCAR or any of the real life racing kind of stuff?
Like real life stuff? I
Yeah.
don't know. I always considered myself like just like a gamer that turned into a sim racer. You know, it was always just the fun of just doing it at home. And, you know, I guess I don't know if you did ask me, but maybe I only answered half of your original question about like I got into sim racing, but then how did I start streaming it? And I started streaming it shortly after I started iRacing, like 2013 or 2014. And that was a lot of fun. That's what I really enjoy. So I just like the aspect of like streaming and then plus the sim racing and the community. But as far as getting into like real life racing, you want to talk about a paywall. You'll never get through that paywall. I mean, it's crazy, you know.
No kidding.
It's crazy expensive to do it in real life. So
yeah, and it's a lot safer to probably do it from the comfort of your own home than hit a.
Yeah, and I mean, on iRacing, I can go race a track that's in Japan, and then race Silverstone in the UK, and then Road America. You know, back to back to back to back. I mean, in real life, you're really stuck to driving like your local track, and it's one race on a weekend, and you just spent $1,200 on a set of tires, and you know, it's just, you know, I've driven fast cars on racetracks before, like those experience things and all that, so I've gotten my taste of it. Yeah, it's just a totally different world.
I like Slugger comes in here and says 800 credit score. Thank you, sim racing. But
nice.
that kind of brings me to my next question, though. So when did you realize that that streaming, that doing iRacing for a living was something that you were, you know, something that you could seriously do?
So I went full time about a year and a half ago. I had been streaming, like I said, since like 2014, literally just as like a hobby, a side gig, passion project, if you wanted to call it that.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. And I had a really good cush job in the construction industry. I was union. And at a certain point, like after the crash of 2008, 2009, like I started getting laid off in the winter. So in the winter months for like 2, 3, sometimes 4 months in the winter, I didn't have to go to work and I'd collect unemployment and then I'd stream like almost full time doing iRacing. So it was really like, I was able to build that up even while having like a full-time job. And then it got to the point because like COVID hit and everybody was playing games and everything, but I missed out on all that because my job never shut down. We were working.
Mine didn't either.
Yeah. We were working harder than ever. I was like, FOMO this, FOMO that. And then after that kind of cooled off, they made some changes with Twitch because the numbers just never worked out. Right. I have a calculator just like everyone else, and I can do all the math about, you know, this much money from Twitch and this from YouTube, and maybe you get a small sponsorship deal and you got money coming in from that. And it's like, okay, well, the math ain't math, and I can't just quit my job. You know, but then Twitch made some changes with the Partner Plus Party program or whatever they call it.
Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, but if you get like so many subs and then you get a higher percentage of revenue, you get 70% instead of 50% revenue from all the subs and everything. So I'm like, okay. And then I was talking with some sim racing companies and I was in contact with Asetek and they wanted to do a big sponsorship deal. And we did do a trial sponsorship through one of the winters that I was laid off for. And I was like, hey, look, I got 3 or 4 months coming up where I'm going to be laid off for the winter. I'm going to stream full time, basically. I'm like, let's try out the sponsorship during the winter. Okay, great. Perfect. So we signed a small deal and it went really well. And, you know, and then I get called back to work, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I try to, you know, and even when I was working, I was still streaming, you know, I'd still try to stream a couple days a week, you know, Saturday on the weekends and stuff. But I went to Asetek. I'm like, listen, you signed me to give me a 1-year contract. Let's make this legit. I'll quit my job. Cause I'm like, with the sponsorship, with the changes Twitch made, I'm like, now the math is starting to math. And if, you know, if I never tried to do it, you know, I'd totally regret it. And the amount of time that I put into the union and my job, I basically called it like a sabbatical. Like I'm still in the union. Technically I pay my dues. I could go back into that industry anytime I want. So I have like
So you have a backup.
You have a
yeah,
backup,
I have the backup. I have the trap door where I can be like, okay, this isn't working. Full-time streaming. Too bad I can't play video games for a living. Whoops, sorry. But at least I tried it. So I could get back in, and I still have that option. But it's been a year and a half, and it's going really well. So I'm like, the numbers are getting even better and better. And there has been like some issues with Twitch in this last kind of like from summer on, where they're dealing with some fake viewership around across the board has been down. I've noticed.
Yeah.
But as like, it is my full-time gig now. So like we're finding different ways to bring in revenue with the Patreon, and I sell merch and the sponsorships, and the community obviously is super supportive. So we're trying to bring in stuff from all over to try to shore everything up and keep it going. And yeah, like I said, it's going great. So never before in the history of my life would I think like, oh, I can sit in my wife's basement and play video games and support a family. And
I love how you said your wife's basement.
Yeah. It's kind of a joke around here, but no, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I can't believe the community, since I've been doing it so long, the community is the backbone. Like I've had people watching me, they'll resub for like 120 months in a row. And like these are the guys, these are the guys that have been with me since I
From the
started
beginning
in a crappy apartment, smoking cigarettes, on stream, racing with, 10 people watching me, or whatever, they're still around today. So like it's that bond that holds us together, because sim racing is very niche, but it's our own little thing and we love it.
Yeah, to be honest, I hadn't really heard much about sim racing until you actually, and then once started watching you more and more often, I saw that you had a community going on there, and you were rating out to other iRacing, and I was like, there's a lot of people actually doing this. Not like as many playing Call of Duty, obviously, but there's a good amount. And I've started kind of watching more and more of them, and I'm like, this is a lot of fun. But I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know if it's just me with ADHD. I can't like be dedicated to just one game. I don't know how you do that. It's like you're iRacing all the time, and I'm like, I would enjoy that for about a month, and then I'd be like, I'm done.
Well, I'm 12 years deep.
Right?
Yeah, no. Well, the good thing about iRacing too is that I can jump from an oval race to a road race to a dirt race to rally to open wheel. So there is that variation within it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm still sitting here with a wheel in my hands. I don't know. I just love it. I've always have, and it's just a lot of fun to hang out with the community while I'm doing it.
It's kind of funny.
Good that you have that drive that just keeps you going that way.
Right. It's more of like an addiction, like a problem that I have. Now the community feeds my addiction into it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You said that you didn't think that, you'd ever be able to make your living playing video games. I remember I've got a couple teachers that we had on my Facebook, and I've messaged them a few times being like, well, you said I'd never make any money or make a living playing video games, but I think Matt Malone would have something to say about that. And a few of them have been like, well, who would have thought that would be a thing? And I was like, me?
Yeah, we knew. They didn't know. They're stuck in the past.
Now, I do have to ask you though. You recently went to Schaumburg, Illinois, to a sim racing event. Kind of walk us through what that was like at such a major sim racing event. Like what was the atmosphere like? What was it all about actually?
Oh man, you guys would love it if you're into any type of game or video games. Like this was the United States first real sim gaming, sim racing expo, because they have them overseas. Like motorsports is way more popular overseas, especially like road racing. I mean, we have our NASCAR here, but so they've been doing it overseas for years. In fact, I went to Germany last year for the 10th anniversary of the Sim Racing Expo. And this one here in the U.S., a guy by the name of George reached out to me year, whatever, and he was the big organizer. He'd been in the sim racing community for years, and he wanted to put on an expo, a show for the community in the U.S. So he's been working on it for 3 years. The guy put his heart and all his money into it and all his passion into it, and he finally it paid off huge, because the expo in Schaumburg this last weekend was such a hit. And it's so nice to be able to like meet everyone. For me, it's about community. So, they have a bunch of new equipment there. Like all the sim racing companies are there selling their new wheels and pedals and rigs and, obviously all of that. And you can try out all the equipment that you want. Because with sim racing equipment, you can't go to Walmart and be like, hey, let me try this wheel. Like you just have to rely on people's review videos and just kind of take people's word for them and just make an order. And we're not talking about buying an Xbox 360 controller where it's like $60. We're talking about dropping a couple grand on a setup, and hopefully you'll like it when you get it home. So these expos are great for people to come and try out equipment, try out different games. They got the huge motion rigs and all that. But for me, I like to go just to meet everybody. Finally, all the people that you've been racing with over the years, you can finally meet them in person and talk to them, shake their hand. And it was a great success. And he said he's going to be doing it again next year.
Oh, nice.
So where are you guys from? Is it far for you guys to get to Chicago area or?
No, not far.
Yeah.
No.
I'm about 5 hours away.
Yeah, you just go and you hang out. I mean, it's in a beautiful convention center. There's hotels attached to it, restaurants there available. And you can try, these crazy motion rigs, it's a little overboard because of the show. They kind of go overboard with it, but there's a bunch of normal rigs there too. There's a competition area. So I was in a Mazda competition. We got 15 sim racing rigs. There's a big video board. There's commentators, and they're doing all these all these competition races. And we got all that. There's a media stage where people give talks. There's stuff you can win there. And it was a lot of fun to really bring the community together. And so it was a great success, and it's happening again next year, apparently. So
that was the first one?
I'll get you free tickets. Yeah, that was the first one of its kind in the US. And then the people that organize the one overseas in Germany, they're actually branching out into the US as well. And they're planning one next year in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I haven't heard too much about that. But yeah, so in the United States, like sim racing has become more and more popular in the last 3 to 5 years. Overseas, people, like I said, people love road motorsports overseas for years and years. And it's always been much bigger over there. But it's creeping in the U.S. and becoming more than just NASCAR here, So
No, man.
Yeah, I thought maybe we had it, because we were big on like muscle cars and all that in the 60s, and drag racing and all that was really popular there. But yeah, it seems like NASCAR is like the only one that you ever hear about.
Yeah, and NASCAR is great. I do some stuff for NASCAR, and they're awesome too. But anyway, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great weekend.
Yeah, speaking of NASCAR, I know kind of a little side thing here. I actually got to meet Danica Patrick.
Really?
Yeah, I was living in Rockford, Illinois at the time, and we had fallen on some pretty hard times. So my wife and I were living with my mother-in-law. I got a job at a gas station through Road Ranger there, and they asked me if I would do an overnight shift at one in Roscoe, where she's from. And while I'm sitting there, it was late at night. I want to say it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. She literally just pulls up to my pumps and I'm looking out there and I'm like, are you kidding me? So, and she got out there and I kind of walked out and I was like, hi. And she was super nice. And I'm just sitting there like, don't be awkward. Don't be awkward. Don't be awkward. And she says, hi. And I'm sitting there like, hi.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm jealous, man. I've only met. Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, she came up, she shook my hand and everything, and she was like, "How you doing?" And I was like, "Do you want coffee?" Like we have in there. And she's like, "No, I'm coming back from an event, and I'm going home and going to bed." And I'm like, "Okay, coffee's stupid." Like just sitting there, like trying to keep it together, but not keeping it together at all.
It's 11 p.m. You're offering her coffee, like,
right?
Yeah. You want 2 shots of espresso in there?
Just feed you full of sugar and then make you go to bed.
It's fun.
No, but didn't you have like a speaking event at this event?
Yeah, I did. If you listen, I got a little advice for anybody out there that has a 30-minute time slot for a speaking engagement. You should probably prepare for it. I didn't really prepare.
Don't go and wing it like we do.
I
with this
literally
show.
winged it. I had like a couple things written down on a note card, but I quickly went through that, and I'm just glad people were there, like sitting down, like the community members and my friends, and so I kind of did a little Q&A, and yeah, I made the best of it. But then I gave away some merch, and what I love about it the most is that I knew I was going to meet everybody from the community, so I had a big flag printed out of like community, and I got it off a fourth wall. And so I brought pens and everything. So everybody that was there and that I met, they could sign my flag. So I got this big flag with everyone's signature on it. It's really cool. Be able to hang it up somewhere. So
nice.
That was fun.
Put that somewhere in your background.
Yeah, right.
You definitely should.
Yeah.
Now, so yeah, you had that speaking event, but so with that going on and with everything else going on at that event, tell us about maybe some behind the scenes things that were going on besides that you didn't prepare for the speech. But yeah, tell us about some behind the scenes that maybe some of the viewers or may not have known about.
Behind the scenes stuff. Well, I did go there a day early to see how they were setting up, and because they opened on a Friday at like noon, and I was there.
What was the venue, if you don't mind me asking?
It's the Schaumburg Renaissance Convention Center in Schaumburg. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've been there for like a Halloween horror convention one year.
I've been there once.
Sure. Yeah. Right next door is that huge like Zurich building. It's like super impressive building. I always thought it was cool, but this is like right next, and it's a little bit older of a building, but I guess they renovated it recently in the last 10 years, and it's beautiful. But I was there Thursday. The officially the doors opened on Friday at noon, and I was there Thursday just to get eyes on the place, and I was there at like 7 or 8 p.m. and it looked like they had about a week worth of work to get ready. There were boxes everywhere. Nothing was set up. They didn't even have internet on some of the rigs. And I'm like, and there's a bunch of people just like running around working. I'm like, I got to get out of here. I'm like, this is stressing me out. But come Friday, I show up and everything's perfect. Everything's set up. People are enjoying everything. I'm like, man. And some of the guys were like, yeah, we had to pull an all-nighter basically to get everything working and properly set up. And I was like, man, these guys worked so hard on this. And even people, because, you have a sim racing rig, it comes in a box, just a bunch of aluminum. You have to put it all together. And a week before, some of the community members came and helped put together all the racing rigs with the seats and the wheels and the pedals and everything to get them all ready for the event, for the competition area. So a bunch of people helped out there. But yeah, I mean, as far as behind the scenes stuff, I mean, not too much, there was some after parties and stuff, but, there's some nice dinners and it was a lot of fun. Just, it's great to meet people and finally, and it's funny when you meet people that you've only seen online,
right?
Everyone's surprised either how short or tall you are. And somebody like, I thought you were shorter. I thought you were taller, because everyone just sees each other through a webcam. It's hard to tell,
That's why I always tell people, like, if you stand next to Neodeath, you're gonna look up because he's like 6'4".
Oh,
but
yeah,
nobody believes me. I'm like, he really is.
That's without the mohawk. You had the mohawk. I mean,
taller. So when you were at that event, did you actually do any kind of racing? Like did you actually go live through your Twitch stream and do like live racing from the event?
The only thing I did live from there was there was a podcast booth, and you could reserve time in the podcast booth, and then from there you could stream to your own channel. So me and a couple of guys did a podcast there on that Friday for like an hour and a half or so, which was nice. And then everything else, like the competition, because I did the Mazda competition, that was streamed on the official Sim Gaming Expo Twitch channel. So they had their own channel. And then, so that big event and broadcast and stuff was on there. I mean, you can, I was going to stream from the event, just kind of walking around and stuff, but instead I just recorded me walking around and showing stuff and then made like a tour video later. But yeah, a bunch of people streamed from the event, and yeah, you can kind of do whatever you want. I mean, they got great internet there, so you can stream and
I would hope so.
Not all the rigs have like not all the rigs have anything set up for like to stream your racing, but if you just want to walk around and do some IRL streaming, you could.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool too, to kind of just do the IRL stuff, because that's when people really get to know the real you and what's really happening. I think,
Right.
you know, people that can't be there for whatever reason.
Yep.
Yeah, I watch things like IGN and, you know, G4 when that was on, and I'm like, this looks cool, but it's so productionized, or it's all put together.
Right.
You know, when you see it from an actual streamer's point of view, and you're just like, wow, so this is what it was be like, step for step.
Right.
Yeah, and for people that didn't have a chance to go, or somebody from like overseas or California will be like, I wish I could go, but I couldn't. You know, at least they can watch the live stream and the tour or the video later and be like, oh, it feels like I was there. You know,
Right.
So
now, while you were, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
So I do have a question. Like, so they're showing different products there. Like, what is the difference? Like, from like this model to that model? Like, what changes that they have to release a new model? That's what I'm curious
like
about.
for the actual sim racing equipment.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, just like different wheels. Like here's like this wheel. Okay, which is cool and all, but like, oh, here's the upgraded version. Now it's got a screen on it.
Oh, of course, it's got a screen
it's like
on
stuff
it.
like that, or just
you can now like a horn.
Yeah, basically different companies just making kind of the same stuff, but they're a little twist on it. It looks a little different. It performs a little different. Software is a little different.
Right.
You know, and just new products in general. Maybe a certain company makes rigs and they're like, hey, this is our new designed rig. It's got this cool attachment and, you know, whatever. I mean, they're always trying to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
And SimiCube is a well-known company in the sim racing world, and they make what they call an active pedal. So it's not just like a regular pedal where you just push on and off. And this thing is like, it's massive. It comes in and it's all software. So it's basically like a force feedback pedal, and you can go into the software and make it super strong, super loose, however much throw you want. If you want it to vibrate at a certain time, you can. Like when the ABS, when the ABS of your car kicks in, you can have it give you a little vibration through your foot to stay off the ABS. Yeah, so I mean, it's $3,500 for a pedal, by the way.
Jesus.
So,
Jesus.
I mean, I think they're a little bit cheaper now. But
that.
Yeah, it's like it's absolutely insane. Like the amount of money people are spending on sim racing equipment just to get so it like feels real, like it feels like you're in the cockpit. But like this wheel, I built kind of myself because you can get a bunch of different stuff. So like you buy like the middle button box, and then you buy the actual rim, and then you can get like, you know, somebody 3D printed me a Mazda logo. Then you get, you know, the back quick release, so it'll fit on your base that you're using, and you get like paddles and stuff. So this is like from 4 different companies to make one custom rim. Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a lot of that kind of stuff too, where you can customize.
That's kind of nice that you can piecemeal it from different companies and stuff. Whatever you like or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, no 2 sim rigs and setups are the same, because everyone loves to tinker and change things and add this to a rig and do this and that. So that's what I like about it too, is the customization of the sim rigs and how you feel in the cockpit and everything.
Now, how long did it take you to get your rig to where you wanted it?
You can build a rig in about 2 days, but then it takes about 3 weeks to get everything be like, oh, this needs to because if you figure like the angle of your wheel to your pedals to how you're sitting, like the ergonomics of all that to get it just right. Because if you move your seat back, well, now you can't reach the pedals, but maybe the wheel feels good. And then you got to move the pedals and do this and get it, you know, and the pedals aligned like up and down and forward and back. And same with the wheel, the angle. And, you know, I add a bunch of stuff too, like button boxes and, you know, Stream Deck stuff. And
I think I saw behind the scenes of all your stuff. And I was like, holy crap.
But a lot of this stuff is for the stream, though, I will say. I mean, I do have a dedicated button box for like in-car adjustments, but everything else, like a Stream Deck XL, regular Stream Deck, and a tablet that runs Stream Deck, that's all for the stream. So I'm pushing buttons and, causing chaos on the stream just to keep everyone's attention,
Right.
And that's what it's all about. Is it like, I want the attention. Please keep watching the stream, and I'm trying to make it fun for myself too,
Now,
Oh, yeah.
for this is just a I don't know why this even popped into my head. For iRacing, is it just strictly racing, or do they have like a demolition derby that you could do, or
No, it's mostly just racing. I mean, time trials. You can do time trials, but yeah, there's none of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I wish there kind of was sometimes. I mean, we'll do our own
There
little
you go.
demo derby at the end of a race, but
right?
Yeah,
Right.
but
Nothing
now you
official.
can make that game and have some fun and
And anybody watching from iRacing, if you like that idea, remember we came up with it.
Yes.
Next to us, yes. So
Not a bad idea. Yeah, because they have a pretty good extensive like damage model that they've worked on over the years, and like there are certain ways to like limit the damage of your car. If you know how demo derbies, like they'll back into people,
right.
Mhm.
If you do that in a Porsche, the engine's in the back, so you wouldn't want to do that.
Right.
So different cars would have different strategy on how to wreck other people without wrecking your own car.
Yeah, and I've noticed that on a lot of your streams, it seems like people are intentionally bumping accidentally, and it's like there's no way that was not on purpose. I feel like you do the replay cam, and I'm like, there's no way that was not done on purpose.
Right. Yeah, and they'll try to play it off. Yeah. Well, it is weird.
Little
about
rubbing is okay.
Yeah, rubbing's racing. Hey, I'll accept that. But it is weird, like different, like with shoot 'em up games, the objective is to kill everyone that's in sight, But with sim racing, you kind of have to share the road with the other people playing. Like there has to be like some respect given and space given, to like have a good race. And with other video games, it's just not like that, So it is kind of.
I mean, do you have people that hop in your stream that specifically like, I'm just gonna fuck this race up and start causing chaos?
Not really. I mean, if people do join, like stream snipe, you mean? I mean, they'll join
something like that,
my races. But no, there's a pretty substantial protest system in iRacing to where if you are intentionally wrecking, you save the replay, submit protests, and they'll get banned. Pretty easy.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So they actually take care of that.
Yeah, there's accountability. I mean,
that's good. Actually,
some people would argue that there needs to be more accountability, but I mean, if you get the right replay and you send it in with an explanation, there's a whole form you fill out. They'll take care of it for the most part. So yeah, there's.
So it's not like they just made the software like whatever happens. Good luck.
Yeah.
It's not like you're on Twitch or something,
right? And if you're paying monthly for a service and then they ban you, you're still paying. You're losing money. So like people don't want to get banned. So for the most part,
they're pretty good. Then the community is pretty good on it. Then
yeah.
Now, when you say that they ban them, is it kind of like Twitch where they give you like a 3-day ban, a 5-day ban, a 2-week, or are they just done?
No, there's progressions to it. Yeah, maybe start off with like a week, and and then if it's so many strikes, I don't know if it's all set in stone with that kind of stuff. But however they decide, like there's been people that have been permanently banned for sure. Yeah, but usually they'll give you a warning first, and then a week, and then 2 weeks or whatever. So it all depends on how egregious it was.
I mean, if I just go in there and just start ramming into people.
Yeah.
Right. Turn your car sideways so they can't get around you.
Yeah.
You're racing backwards.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And people have gotten pretty good at like hiding what they're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Out on track where they're like, well, if I do this, it doesn't look intentional, but it gets the job done, So, but if you get enough proof of that and collect your evidence, then they'll do something about it. But
okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very familiar with the iRacing scene. It's not something I really watch. Do they have like weather effects and things like that and different seasons and things like that for the tracks?
Yeah, so recently, it's been a couple years now, they finally implemented rain. And they did a really good job with it. Rain will come in, the track gets slick. You got to put rain tires on. You have to avoid certain parts of the track that start puddling. they got different, they got day night transitions, obviously, for a while. So the track will heat up and cool down. And I mean, it gets crazy. Like they're talking about, so if it's a super hot day out at the track, the sub base of the track is warm. So then if it rains, right, and then it stops raining, since the track is so hot and maybe the sun comes out, the water on the track is going to dry up quicker because it's on a hotter surface. So then it's going to dry quicker. But if it's a cold and rainy day and it rains just a little while, that water on the track is not going to dry up very quick. So like they're taking everything into consideration with wind speed and the temperature of the track and the ambient air temp and the humidity levels and all that playing into it for sure. So they're pretty nerdy about it, which is great. But yeah, you got to be constantly thinking. And I like that aspect of it because there's terminology we use, like you get a bunch of hot lappers. Hot lappers are guys that they can race really good in the static conditions and hit their marks, and they're just super fast. But if there's any type of variation, whether it be weather or other cars on track, like they just can't figure it out and they can't adapt to it, So I'm all for making a hot lappers day a living hell because I like the idea of adapting to different weather changes and track conditions, and even in the NASCAR where if all the cars are constantly running in the same line on the same part of the track, that part of the track will kind of heat up, and then other parts of the track are more desirable. So it forces you to make changes throughout the race and just have a more dynamic racing experience, basically. So yeah, they've gotten way into it. It's crazy.
I was gonna say, so there's a lot of thought process that has to go through while you're racing all this stuff.
Yeah, because the track isn't just a flat plane. There's thickness to it, and especially because they got into dirt now. So there's dirt racing on iRacing, and the dirt as you run around, it changes, it compacts, it flings up. The cushion, they call it, keeps moving up the track, and it's very dynamic. It's like the very first Battlefield game trailer that I saw years ago where it's like Levolution. Remember that when that was a big deal? Like, you can change the level.
Right.
That was years ago, but that's what it kind of reminds me of, is like the environment is changing as you're racing and as conditions change, that where you have to change your approach to it.
Right. Okay.
Now, kind of going back to the event that you were just at, did you meet any of any other racing legends there? Did you have any unexpected encounters with people?
There's a guy there. There's guys that I've known for years just on the internet. Guys that run their own shows, channels, and like Sean Cole and Darren Ganji. They've been in the business for a long time. Tony Kanaan was there. I don't know if you guys know Tony Kanaan. I've gotten to know Tony. He's an IndyCar championship. He's won Indy 500 IndyCar events. He's prolific real life race car driver that happened to get into sim racing during COVID, started streaming. And I actually he built like this huge sim racing garage in Indianapolis. He's got like 10 rigs in there. Guy's a multimillionaire. He can do whatever he wants.
Right.
So like, just as a hobby, he just like builds out this huge garage, and I actually go there with another streamer friend of mine, and we run the 24 hours of Daytona together there as a team on iRacing in his garage, and we all hang out. It's such a blast. He's such a nice guy. So like Tony was there. But yeah, other people, just basically members of the community. It's just nice to see him finally in real life. But yeah, there are some pretty big names there for sure. And I'm sure next year is going to be even bigger. So
do you have any rivals?
Do I have any rivals?
In your community and just like
I mean, in iRacing itself, I call them daycare kids. The kids that get on, they're not streamers or anything, but they race and they just cause issues out on the racetrack. And a part of me thinks they're just having a laugh, like messing around and trolling. But like a part of me just thinks they are just low IQ, brain dead children. I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out, because they know I'm streaming. So maybe they're just looking for attention. I really can't figure it out. It just comes across as they're just dumb, but like you got to deal with them. Sometimes I'll just mute the mic and
I mean, you get that on any game, Call of
I
Duty,
know.
World of Warcraft. You're gonna
Yeah.
get those people that are just.
I just try to deal with it the best I can and just try to make it content. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That's all I
Right.
can do. Because even if I lose the race, I'm still winning. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
I'm trying to make good content. So if people are enjoying it, I'm
Yeah,
winning.
you hear that, Koimiya? Content.
Yeah.
People like drama, but at a certain point, sometimes I shut it off. But you know,
Right.
sometimes you don't want to give the trolls too much attention,
Right.
just enough to where it benefits me as for content. But then at a certain point, it's like, okay, there's a gray area to decide to be like, all right, that's it.
Makes sense.
But no, like any stream rivals. That's what's great about the sim racing community and all the streamers is that we mostly all get along and support each other, raid each other, race with each other. You know, I've come up with a saying called the streamer code. So if you're racing out on a racetrack and there's another streamer there, I'm like, the streamer code is be super careful, don't wreck each other. You know, we don't want any issues because the worst thing if you're streaming is getting in a wreck and then the race is over and you don't know when the next race is. And you're like, oh crap, you know, like this sucks. So like, streamer code when it comes to like, be careful, give extra room on track.
So when you do wreck, do you have to pay for it in game or
no, you
nothing
just
like that?
No, it just ruins your race and you got to go to the pits and your race is over. You can wait for repairs in the pits.
Okay.
But you'll lose all like safety rating and iRating. So safety rating and iRating are your stats for online races and iRacing. And that's kind of the addiction part, you know, like you're like, I don't want to lose iRating, and you got to place so well in the grid at the end of the race to gain iRating. And based on your iRating, if the higher it gets, the better you have to keep doing to keep improving.
Mm-hmm.
And then your safety rating is based on how many off tracks or wrecks you get into. And then you can lose your license. And if you get so far down, now you're not even eligible to race in certain series if you don't have a high enough license.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So to even play the full game, you have to have a top A license to play all the stuff. Yeah.
So you said the race could be over and you don't know when the next one would be. So are they planned out like every 2 hours they're going to fire?
Yeah. So
or
usually
something like that?
Yeah. Certain series are all timed out. Like, oh, Mazda is every hour on top of the hour, or IMSA is every quarter to the hour, every 2 hours or whatever, you know, but like, and sometimes it's timed out to where it's usually timed out to where you do a race, you finish it. Oh, look, there's another race starting in 5 minutes. Perfect. Okay. And then you do that, right? You know, but if you wreck out, now you're like, oh crap. Like now I got to wait till the next one because I didn't finish this one or whatever. So it just throws off the timing, you know, but, and then there's other stuff where if I do need some filler time, like I'll do a quick rallycross race and if the time works out, because a quick rallycross race from start to finish can be 15 minutes. And maybe that'll bridge the gap to the next bigger, longer road race or something. So, but yeah, and the great thing about iRacing, like bump the mic. Right now, I mean, sim racing isn't like huge. So there's 18,000 people online right now on iRacing.
That's not huge.
Right. That's like literally peanuts compared to some other Steam games. But man, I was back in the day there. For a big special event, there'd be like 5,000 people on trying to race, you know, doing one big special event or, you know, so there's always people racing in these registered scheduled races that are coming up. So you can always get a race in nowadays. Back in the day, it was hard to get like in a full grid with a full race. You know, sometimes you'd have to wait a while to get one, you know, so. But yeah, I mean, that's huge numbers for us. It's so funny because, you go on like Steam and they're like, oh, there's 1 million people currently right now playing this game.
Well, yeah, I was looking at the numbers for Borderlands 4 that just came out yesterday, and I think they're at 220,000.
Yeah, that's insane. But how hard would it be to moderate all those people if they were all racing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy to have kind of a smaller group because at least there's some accountability.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I just kind of want to keep up with some of these comments here. We've been getting quite a lot here.
Oh, sure.
It says Corey Lendia, and I apologize if I say any of these names wrong, says 12 years deep, and guess what? Getting deeper and deeper.
The rabbit hole never ends. Yeah, that's Corey. I know him. He's a good guy.
Yep. I'm 90 says rookie Mazdas.
Rookie Mazdas. I love it.
Yep. And then sports fan 8851 comes in and says they do have figure 8 in iRacing.
They do have official figure 8 in iRacing. It's not a destruction derby. There is a strategic way to do figure 8 racing. I've seen it in real life. Usually when you join a figure 8 racing in iRacing, it turns into a demo derby kind of. But I like to try to play it legit. But
yep. Yeah, and then when we were talking about the bands here, I see SV, and I apologize if I say this wrong, but SV0G THIR. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to get there.
I got a 7-day ban because I crashed someone after the race because I see Matt Malone doing it, not knowing that the incident points are counting after the race.
So a little explanation for that one. So after the race, you cross the checkered flag. The race is over, right? But not everyone has finished the race behind you.
Right.
The safety rating is still in effect. Now there comes to a point where the results have been tabulated. The results are in. You could still be on track, but the results have been made. They're official. The race is now really over. Like you've already gotten your safety rating and I rating, gain or loss. So then at that point, you can wreck and it means nothing because the results have already been algorithmed out, So, and I have a bet bot on my channel that people bet on my races and win free points or, it's all just for fun. So when the bet bot pays out and I can see it in the chat, I know that the results have been fully tabulated and it's over. So as soon as I see the bet bot pay out, I freaking will throw it into a wall or wreck someone knowing that safety rating is no longer in effect. Now to know that in a race, you got to go to the F1 black box and look for the time because the time will restart. And it's a little less, it's a little bit hard to know if you don't have that's just the position I'm in. I've just been doing it for a year. So some people are like, why are you wrecking after the thing? I'm like, the bet's paid out. We're good. Safety rating is no longer in effect. Be like, oh, I wrecked after a race and I got in trouble for it. And it's like, you didn't wait long enough or, it depends on the track and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah. And looks like here, that's what Mech Arm 1 was kind of saying there. You got to make sure that everybody's, So, and then it looks like they were kind of talking back and forth here. And then, says here, I joined iRacing in beta in 2008. I'll always keep my subscription up and pay for setup subscriptions as well.
2008. That's when it came out. Dang, Mech Arm. That's crazy. I got in 2013. I mean, by then he had already owned the game, beat it.
So you're just kind of a youngin' compared to that.
I guess. That's crazy. I didn't realize that, Mech Arm.
Yo.
And then Mitch comes in. Yep. How's it going, Mitch? Thanks for stopping by.
Now, so what's the most challenging part about streaming and iRacing consistently? I know we've talked about how you do this as a, for a living. We're doing this kind of on the side as a with your construction job. But what is the hardest part about doing this one game consistently?
It's just time management because, I'm on for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. And so that's just the live streaming part. So that doesn't count the time before and the time after of doing behind the scenes stuff. And, I got the LLC. So it's like the business part of it. And then the family, 2 kids and a dog and a wife and the yard and the house. And, so there's not enough. There's never enough. Yeah, we did get the dog. Yeah,
I saw the stream like you weren't sure if you wanted to get one or not.
We're just gonna go look. I said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
When Dad said we're gonna go look,
and it's an Amish golden retriever. We bought it from an Amish lady. Super nice, but yeah. So it's just a lot to juggle because as a YouTuber. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm considering myself just a live streamer. But as a YouTuber, you're creating content and then you're editing. And with editing, you can be behind the camera. You can be behind the screen for 6 hours a day editing, right? But at least you can go away from it, come back. Oh, the kid's throwing up. Let me go take care of that. Oh, you know, you could juggle that a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, just the time commitment, because there's just really not enough hours in the day. And then like setting up for the Patreon race and dealing with messages and the Discord and the trying to post to Instagram and TikTok. And, you know, it's just a lot of extra stuff going on outside of the live stream, because you can't really draw people into the live stream by live streaming. You can't do it. It doesn't work that way. I have the great blessing of, you know, I'm typically the number one streamer for iRacing at any given point. So usually people that want to watch iRacing on Twitch, they go to iRacing, and then whoever is at the top, they'll usually click. So I have the benefit of getting some new viewers in that way. But discoverability, you're on your own for Twitch. You are on your own. So you got to be making short content, posting stuff outside of the live stream to draw people in, because you're just forced to do that because Twitch isn't going to do it for you. So, I mean, I don't do as well as I should do about that kind of stuff. And I do try to make dedicated YouTube videos every once in a while. A lot of the YouTube videos I make are just stripped from the live stream. So I have the ability. So I used to do it a lot, but I don't do it as much. But my lights just came off. You know, your
studio seems to be falling apart.
You know, they were hanging for a little while. I'm like, whatever. They're just hanging, but the double stick tape goes after a while. But as I'm doing, maybe I'll do like 10 races a day in a live stream. And like, maybe, you know, I have the ability to just be like, all right, let's press record, show a quick intro video, and then just record that one race, and then do a little outro at the end. Boom, stop recording. Now that's its own YouTube video that I can upload. It's just one single race. I used to do that a lot. I should probably get back to doing that. And there's certain races that I'll do that now. But yeah, I mean, it's just the live streaming to me. Once I go live, then it's like a break. I'm like, oh, sweet. I'm like, I'm live for the next 6 hours. Like, I'm in my happy place. I'm having fun. But it's the before and after and all the other stuff is like, that's the work, you know?
Right before you hit that button, you're like, oh man, this is, I don't know if I want to do this. And then you hit it and it's a blast.
Yeah, that's the best part is the live stream. And that's so much fun. It's all the other stuff.
It is so much work to try and promote yourself, get yourself out there, do this, do that. Like, I've fallen back on that too.
Yeah. And then it's sometimes like, well, people are going to get sick of me if I'm just constantly posting all this stuff. But I'm like, I don't care. I'm on my phone scrolling. Like, if you don't like it, just keep scrolling. But like, maybe people be coming up like, oh yeah, Malone's streaming today. You know, maybe I'll go check it out. It's like, because they saw an Instagram post, you know, of whatever. So it's like little stuff like that. Just as a reminder for people to be like, yeah, I'm on, you know, come hang out, say hi.
Right.
So,
I mean, that's its own dedicated job is to do that, and editing, like you were talking about. That just takes so much time.
Yeah, it really does.
That's why I don't.
I don't do too much.
So you mentioned that you have like certain streams that you do on Patreon, and then certain ones that you'll do maybe on YouTube only. How do you decide which ones are going to be a Patreon stream and which ones are going to be a live stream?
So I don't live stream on Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member, what I've decided is, you know, you got to give people an incentive to sign up to the Patreon. So they get one dedicated video per week. And so I'm in I race the Mustang. There's a particular series, the Mustang races, and the series in the car are just kind of dead and no one races them. So the community says, hey, we all want to race this car. Okay, let's pick a time to race it. So we pick Mondays at a specific time. So I will do that race and record it just for the Patreon. And then I'll upload it to just the Patreon. So they get to see my trials and tribulations in this particular series on iRacing to try to win the championship, you know, for that particular series. And then we have the league. So we just started season 2 of the Patreon League. So if you're a member of the Patreon, then you can sign up to be on the league and race in the race. And that's streamed just everywhere. But to be able to be in the race, you got to be on Patreon.
Okay.
So
excuse me.
just trying to give people incentives to sign up to the Patreon. And a lot of people sign up to the Patreon just because they want to support me and the full-time venture, obviously.
Right.
But for other people, they need to be like, well, why am I going to pay money every month? What am I getting out of it? You know, it's like, okay, well, here, now you can be in a league. You get your exclusive video every week. And that's really all I can offer. You know, it's like, take it or leave it. You know, it's like the minimum's $10 a month. So it's like, you know, you're not getting much for your money, but you know, to be on a league in iRacing, sometimes there's a registration fee of like 15, 20, $30, you know? So I figure it's kind of like a league registration fee anyway. So, but yeah, it's good fun. And the races are broadcasted. So if you're ever in a race and then later you can go watch the broadcast of someone like broadcasting the race and you see all the highlights and lowlights, that was always fun for me to see when I started doing that, is being in races that are broadcasted. It's a lot of fun. So
now, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is another. I'm fascinated by this whole concept of the racing and everything. So
I think we all are.
Like a computer, I guess you could say, for lack of better words, an AI generated like pit crew talking in your ear the whole time, or anything like that? Or
there is something called your spotter. So the spotter is built into the game. There's also third-party programs for it, but basically if you're racing and then you're alongside of someone, the spotter will come into your ear and say car left, car left, car left, okay, clear. He'll give you little tips on you know, how much fuel you got. But that's just kind of baked into the game. They're not using AI or anything for that yet.
yeah.
But yeah, basically you're on their own. Yeah. I mean, you got to do pits. Some series will make you do pit stops. You got to keep track of your fuel. You got to take care of your tires, because on like super long races, if you're beating up your tires, they're just not going to last, and your lap times will suffer from it. But yeah, I mean, even another whole thing is the endurance races. Yeah. Like I said, where we do 24-hour races, when you have a team and you're doing driver swaps and you're doing pit stops and you're checking the weather, you're checking the temperatures, it's involved, man. It's fun.
I would do it, but my rage would just get road rage right away and be like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
Just wall and call it a day. So.
But a lot about racing is like, because I've been in a bunch of endurance races where we got 3, 4, 5 guys, and let's say we do wreck the car in the first hour and it's like 20 minutes of damage. You sit there and you get it fixed and you get back out there. And maybe for the next 6, 7 hours, maybe you pick up a couple positions from other people having issues.
Right.
You just keep at it. But the difference is that we're all streaming, having fun.
Yeah.
So the race is kind of secondary at that point.
Yeah,
that's always the most
I've caught one of your 24-hour ones. And I was like, whoa, they're actually doing that. And like, someone's like, I'm going to bed. I'll be back.
Yeah, we don't manage our sleep very well. And then all of a sudden, like, everyone's tired at the same time. And we're like, oh, no.
And that probably does not end well a lot of times.
No. And my favorite event is the 12 hours of Bathurst every February, because I do that all by myself, 12 hours. And I you got to do a pit stop about every hour, and you get about 45 seconds for pit stop. So that's when I go piss and come back. But for 12 hours, I'm racing, and it is the best event of the year. I love it so much. I don't know why. It's just fun.
When do you go to the bathroom?
Yeah, pit stops. I mean, just make sure it's not a number 2 and you're fine. And then the wife will bring me treat or like snacks and stuff, like finger food I can eat while I'm racing. But yeah, it's 12 straight hours. The race is 12 hours long. But yeah.
All I'm thinking about is the World of Warcraft South Park, where mom bathroom.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, everyone watching is like, wait a minute, you're doing this 12 hours by yourself? Don't you have to poop? I'm like, I can go 12. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I've took care of it. Everything's fine.
Until they say that, and then you're like, oh no, then it starts grumbling.
That, like I said, that's when you get a sponsorship with Depends.
There you go. Hey, I'm getting old enough. That's gonna be a good sponsorship one day.
It's funny. I just turned 45 in July, and I'm now getting mail from AARP that's like, now that you're 65, I'm like, in 20 years. Like, what the?
You got some wrong info on you.
Jumping the gun there, guys.
Well, like I said, they're just trying to ease you into it so you don't get that heart attack right when you finally hit that age.
Well, maybe they've heard you refer to yourself as old man yelling at the cloud on this
That's a
show.
possibility as well. It's the gray.
Yeah.
It's the gray.
Now, I do have to ask you. You said things are a little easier to handle when you're doing YouTube and you're able to edit and kids throwing up and you can take a break from it. But how do you handle those moments when everything is going wrong during a live race?
Luckily, it haven't not too many times I can count. But if there was anything that happened outside, like with the family, I would just get up. That obviously the race is.
Race is done.
I could care less,
right.
If something was going on. I can't think of too many times. The wife is pretty good about staying on top of everything around the house.
What about malfunctions in your equipment or,
Yeah, that happens. Like a wheelbase will turn off unexpectedly.
Right.
Or, sometimes in races, like the whole computer will just shut off like a blue screen out of nowhere. And then the whole stream, man, because I just use one computer to stream.
I use one computer for everything.
Yeah. And I'm just like, that happened like just the other day where I'm just streaming. All of a sudden everything's black. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, okay, I'll just wait till everything turns back on, set everything up again, just go back live, be like, sorry guys,
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I would say the one thing that's the hardest is like when you're racing and you're focused and like maybe the kid comes in or something. And like, as soon as something breaks like that barrier, that bubble that you're in, I'm lost, dude.
You're in the gaming zone and then they take you out of it.
And like looking at this and racing and responding to messages and notifications are going off, but it's still in my bubble. But if somebody walks in my physical room, then I'm like, So yeah, it's just a concentration thing where you have so much bandwidth, and if something breaks it, you're donezo.
So does the family know, hey, at this time I'm doing this, do not come down here for the most part?
Not to come down. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're still you got 2 daughters, right?
Yeah, 2 daughters. I'm downstairs. They leave me to it, they know what I'm trying to do down here.
They know daddy's working.
Yeah. So leave me alone. Obviously if there's something going on, they'll let me know and you gotta attend to certain things at some
major emergency.
Yeah, but the wife will come bring me treats and I'm like, I'm on for 6 hours. Like I gotta have something like midway. Give me an apple or some mixed nuts or something. Like I can't go 6 hours without eating something, usually.
Right.
So she'll just come down and I'm not racing for the entire 6 hours. There's breaks and stuff. And so she'll come down, give me a little plate of food, and I'm like, hey, thanks. And that's it, or whatever. So,
now, does your wife actually watch you race? Like, is she one of your followers?
Not really.
My wife was for a while.
Yeah, she'll usually, if she checks out the stream, she comes on just to ask me a question.
Yeah, my wife does that too.
Like, hey, what
do you want for dinner?
Yeah, exactly. So, but and then somebody will gift her a sub, or something, and it's cool. But yeah, she'll. And look, if there's something funny that happened or a clip, like I'll show her. She thinks it's funny, but she can't just watch the stream all day. They're probably too busy watching Peppa Pig or something upstairs.
Like Koimia's kids are too busy watching the Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
Minecraft or anything else about freaking Minecraft. Yeah.
So,
now, can you tell us like any kind of funny or memorable chat interactions that you've had that specifically stand out?
Not anything too specific. There's people in the community like Pravi1 comes to mind where, some people just match your kind of sense of humor in the chat and you can like riff, like everyone's riffing off of something and, everyone's adding something to it and they're giving me lines to say, so it's like, but I can't really remember anything too specific. It's just constantly like just great community members coming together and we're all just having a laugh. It's escapism for the viewers, but it's also escapism for me as well, because we don't get into typically anything like too hardcore, we're just there to have fun. And if we do touch on anything, the rule that I try to stick by is if I'm going to touch on anything semi-serious or current events or anything like that, like I'm going to try to take like the, a David Letterman or a Jay Leno approach where it's like late night, just like make a joke about it and move on, lightheartedness, kind of stuff like that. But usually we're just riffing about dumb stuff, and is a hot dog an actual taco, or is ketchup a soup, or whatever, stuff like that. But everyone makes fun of me because I microwave my eggs sometimes. You get a couple eggs, you mix them up in a bowl, you put them in the microwave for a couple minutes, boom, you got instant eggs.
Or my mom used to do that.
Yeah. But
So let me ask you this. This is a debate my wife and I have.
Okay.
So I say that chocolate comes from the cocoa plant, which grows from the ground just like vegetables do. So therefore, chocolate counts as a salad. I say yes. She says no.
That is.
I love that logic.
That is a stretch.
That's
she's
funny,
like,
man. She
goes like, you should eat more salads, because I do. I love salads. I eat them. And she's like, well, you should have more salads. And I'm like, I actually went into the grocery store and I was like, look, it's a Hershey salad. It's a Reese's peanut butter cup salad, and she will not go with it. I've had a few people jump behind me on that. There's like 5 people versus like 1,000.
Well, I've had real chocolate in Punta Cana or whatever, Dominican Republic, and it's disgusting. Like they showed us how they do it, but like the only reason it's good is because the sugar or whatever they put in it, But
the preservatives and everything.
So if you were to eat real chocolate, I'm with you 100% because it's from the ground. It's a health food at that point. It's just not good.
Wheat is from the earth.
Yeah.
Nice Friday reference there.
Another controversy we've got going on this show, and we've asked all our other guests, is do you call it soda or do you call it pop?
I usually call it like soda, just soda.
Yeah. There we go. Yay.
I'll call it anything, but I won't call like a Dr. Pepper a Coke.
Right.
I won't do that, but soda, usually soda, but I'll say pop too, not too often. Or like around the house, me and my wife will be like, hey, you want a sody? We'll say sody sometimes. But yeah, Coca-Cola. I'm a Coca-Cola classic guy. I'll get a can, I'll get a glass full of ice, and then do a hard pour and let it fizz all the way out, because I think there's too many bubbles in it. So I'll do a hard pour and let it fizz out, and then that's how I like my Coca-Cola, which is not too common, I don't think.
The best Coca-Cola is usually from McDonald's. They have
they
do.
Yeah, the fountain. Yeah.
Yep. 100%. It just tastes so good.
Yeah. It's because like Wendy's and all those others, they get their Coke syrup in a bag, but McDonald's has a deal with the Coca-Cola company that theirs comes in like a canister. So it's something, it's something with that canister that makes it taste different. Yeah, probably.
There you
That's
go.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, McDonald's fountain Coke is the best. Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go there, like people will be like, "What are you going to McDonald's for?" I'm like, "Just a Coke.
Doesn't
matter what else. I'm just getting a Coke."
Maybe I'll get some nuggets too.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, so how has your sim racing setup evolved over the years?
Oh man, I got a whole folder of all my pictures from like 2014 to present, and it just goes from like wood to like basic aluminum to like it just keeps getting more extravagant,
Right. Adding and adding and adding.
Yeah, my buddy, he's in the woodworking business, and he originally built a rig for me, like a cabinet, basically. And we got an old seat out of I went to the junkyard and got a seat from a Dodge Durango, and put that on there. Put the crappy pedals or whatever I had at the time, and it worked great. And then you just put a monitor right on top because it's like a big cabinet, and that was awesome. And it was wood, and then you move on, and then you get, because what's really popular in the sim racing community is the aluminum extrusion tubing, or 80/20 they call it. It's just aluminum profiling. I don't know if you can't really see it, but and it's just super solid aluminum, and it's kind of like a Rector set where you can there's slots on the side, and you can put anything anywhere and customize it out. And super sturdy. Yeah, I don't have a piece of it anywhere, but I mean, I'm sitting on it, but yeah. So yeah, just 80-20, and different companies will, I mean, you can buy all the raw 80-20 you want and, cut it and do that if you really wanted, but companies just have it all pre-cut, pre-holed and assembled, it's all perfect, and you just put it together according to the instructions, and it's all well thought out. So, but yeah, you can spend, usually it's about, like $1,000 just for the rig, the chassis,
Now, do you have one of the ones that, can move with you and do all that? Or
motion rig? No.
Yeah.
Or
Do you want to go into that, or you just?
I don't think I could do. I've tried motion. It wears you out. That's the problem. It's moving you all around, and so I don't think I could do it for 6 hours.
After one race, you're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, sweating and stuff. But yeah, no. And then it's shaking all your equipment. You got to think about that too. So like, all your wheelbase and pedals. I mean, if you're vibrating something for however many hours a day for however many days, like it's gonna take the life out of your equipment for sure. So, but yeah, no, I'm just static. I'm fine with that as a streamer.
Okay.
So, do you have any opinions on like sim racing hardware or software that might be considered controversial to your community?
Not really. I mean, we always do talk about like immersion. Like there's things you can get that will increase your immersion of racing, whether it's the motion, or they make something called a belt tensioner, which is basically you buy a bar and then in there is seat belts basically, and it sets up like behind your seat and the belts come over. So then that's hooked up to your software. So then as you slow down, like if you hit the brakes, it'll tighten the belt, be like, oh, and it'll seem like you're like moving. There's all this other stuff. And it's like, is that going to make you faster? No. Is it cool because it's going to make you feel like you're in the car? Yes. You need to find a balance, and, people will swear about certain equipment over other equipment. And, I guess the only controversial thing, and not really, I mean, I'm pretty milquetoast, but the controversial thing for me is I have a 57 ultra wide, and people are like, oh, you got to have triples. You got to have triple monitors because it gives you more FOV. You can see who's on the side. Right. And I'm like, yeah, but you're giving up FPS. Now you have two bezels. You have all those power cables, extra display port cables. Like, I'm like, it's for what? For this much more monitor on each side of you? And I'm like, I have a look left and look right button. I can quickly press it, see who's there. I can sense that they're there with the sound. You can have radar and stuff on your screen as well. So I'm like, it's just not worth it. Plus, I'm trying to stream and do all this stuff. And I'm like, it's just too hardware intensive to do triples. And it's my take that because racing is a lot about vision and where you're looking. And if you have I've used triples before. They're great. Triples are fine. But if you have these two bezels, right, it tends to lock your vision into the center monitor.
Right.
While you should be looking further over, like into apex, further up the road. And what those bezels do is they kind of mess you up to where like now you're not looking far enough away into that other monitor because you have to skip over the bezel and it may distract you. And so what the 57-inch does is it gives you that clean look further into your apex wherever you're going and to look further ahead because, people call it tunnel vision. If you're looking 10 feet in front of your bumper, you're going to have issues. You're going to suck at racing basically, and you don't see stuff coming. You're not going to be smooth because you're just not seeing things early enough. So you got to always be looking further out. The further you can look, the smoother you're going to be, the more you can anticipate things, the better race car driver you're going to be. And it's hard to train yourself to look that far ahead. And I think the clean 57 ultra wide just gives you that. But yeah, there's always controversy about VR is the best. Triples are the best. No, get the ultra wide, but it all comes down to personal preference.
Right.
I mean, I could care less what anybody else uses,
Have you tried it in VR?
I've tried VR for like 20 minutes, like 10 years ago. I thought about getting one of the newer VR because they just keep getting better and better.
Right.
And I haven't tried a VR in so many years. I'm sure it's like so much better. But even then, I still remember it. Like it's ingrained in my brain. like I was at Phillip Island Racetrack in an open wheel car. And I remember like lifting my head over and like looking down over the side pod and like on the ground. I'm like, this is amazing. Like it feels like I was actually there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it all had that screen door effect, and it sucked at the time. But I'm thinking about, or I was thinking, maybe I'll get a VR at some point. I feel like they're always waiting for the next one. Like everyone's like, yeah, wait till this next one comes out. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, how long do I wait before I just get one and just to try it?
Right.
To use it on the stream probably wouldn't work too well, but maybe I'd make some videos about it or just to try it.
Well, it's have side content or something.
Yeah.
Like you said about the, looking around and all of that and looking down. I said I always used to make fun of the people that you'd see them doing the videos of their like walking on the ledge over a cliff or whatever, and you see them like doing a balancing crap, and I'm like, you're on your living room floor. And then I got the PS5 VR and I tried it, and I'm like, okay, now I get it. Now I get it.
I mean, it tricks your brain, and your brain's like, whoa.
It really does.
Yeah, can you imagine doing VR in a motion rig?
Oh man,
that might mess you up. You might get a barf bucket or something ready.
I know Gran Turismo 7 has the VR option, and I haven't tried it yet, and I'm almost scared to.
Yeah,
and
I know iRacing's done a bunch of updates recently with their VR and improved it, and people are like, sim racing and iRacing with VR is like next level. And I'm like, I have no idea. But that's what some people say. Like they've done a whole bunch of nerd stuff that I can't even explain here. But really cool stuff on that front.
So we did get a comment in here that says, tell them about butt kicker.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can get what they call butt kickers because I totally forgot. Like immersion. And so butt kickers are basically bass shakers. They plug into your sound system basically in your PC, and you'll usually put them like in strategic areas around your rig, usually under your seat. So then you can feel the rumble of the car, and then it'll affect it differently. Like if you're driving and you go over like a rumble strip, it'll be like, and you'll feel it. So yeah, it's just another haptic basically, but people will put them everywhere on their rig and get different effects and stuff like that. So. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other you can put haptics on your pedals. Oh yeah, I said that before. But yeah, you can get I got a shifter, and it's cool, man. It's come a long way,
Sounds like
and the equipment nowadays, like before it used to be like a toy, like, oh no, I'm driving this little thing and I can't I feel like I'm gonna break it. But now it's like I feel like it's gonna break me. Like, that's how strong it's gotten.
I'm getting a massage.
Yeah. So I just kind of want to get caught up on some of these comments here. I saw.
Good luck.
Yeah. So laxatives half the day before the race.
Oh, for the big 12-hour?
Yeah. Let's see. Yep. Slugger says, I have no idea how Matt does that solo.
It's like 7 years running.
And when we were talking about AARP, looks like they came back and said getting old as hell.
Yeah. That's Slugger. We've hung out in real life before. Slugger's a great member of the community, and he only started iRacing not too long ago, a couple years ago, and he's improved so much. He's gonna be faster than me, and by this time next year, and I'll be like, son of a gun, I've been doing it for over 10 years. He's been doing it for 3. He's better than me.
Becomes the teacher.
Yeah,
I'm 90 says my wife is my only sub.
Oh.
Slugger says such a great community. It really does seem like that. The times that I've been able to hang out in the community, like I said, usually when I'm watching you, I'm at work and I got to keep the volume down, but I can keep it up a little bit, like when I'm in between calls. And I see you and I see the community just having such a great time, and I'm just like, this is awesome.
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with just the type of game it is and the sport that it is, where there is like respect given on track. So then like it carries over throughout the community, because like I was saying before, like if the objective of the game is just to blast people, over and over and over again, it's like, how's that helping anyone in the community. It's just different for us. Maybe,
I mean,
I guess.
some of those communities can get very, very toxic. Like I
Right.
had a friend.
Yes.
I had a friend that was trying to get me into League of Legends, and it's like I was watching some of those streams, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, you people are insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember the actually Matt, you might remember this too. Remember the old chat rooms for the Call of Duty servers in the Xbox 360
Yeah.
days?
God, yeah.
Can't repeat any of that here.
Right.
No, we get banned instantly.
Yeah.
That was the Wild West.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so he was saying that it's such a great community, and this is coming from someone that doesn't like people. So-
Yeah, Slugger's like, I don't like people, but he's like, but I like you guys.
Yep, and then microwaved eggs are goated.
Heck yeah, they are.
I gotta say, so my wife and I have the same schedule. She actually works here on the other side of this green screen during the day, and I'm on the other side of the wall. And
okay.
A lot of times we'll work for a little bit, and then I'll go get some cereal or something. And then she does the same thing. She puts egg whites in this little container and then throws it in the microwave. And I'm just like, how are you doing that? And how does that taste good? And
There you go.
I didn't realize what she was doing, but she puts like some like Mrs. Dash and stuff on it to liven it up a little bit. And then she's like, this is like some of the best stuff. And I'm like, I don't get it, but I'm not gonna judge you.
We're race car drivers. It's all about going fast. So what's the fastest way you can make an egg? Boom, microwave. What's the fastest way you can make coffee? A Keurig. Yeah, it tastes like plastic. Who cares? It gets the job done. Be like, we're all about speed.
And Keurig, if you were looking at sponsoring us, we do not agree with what Matt just said.
Oh man.
So I got a question. Do you only stream to Twitch or do you multi-stream?
No, I started multi-streaming. About the time I went full time. Yeah, I multi-streamed Twitch, YouTube, and now Kick, just because.
Okay.
I just use I forget what it's called.
Have you ever thought about going to Beam, where you can multi-stream to all those at once and take the load off your system?
No, because I'm doing different quality. So I'm doing I'm doing 1440 to YouTube, and then 1080 to Kick and Twitch. And I did try the 2K streaming on Twitch, but they force you to do a 480, 720, 1080, and 1440 all together, your own, and then send it out. And that killed my computer. I couldn't do that.
It's like, nope.
Yeah, the encoding was horrible. But yeah, I got so much internet. I finally got gig fiber internet here, so it doesn't affect me in any way.
Okay.
But yeah. Is that your thing, Beam?
Yeah.
Did I walk over it or something?
No, you're totally good.
Well, with people with limited stuff, I mean, you might as well. Like, I'm all for multi-streaming, however you want to do it. Like, I know Restream and Beam and stuff do that, where it's like, hey, if I'm streaming just to one, be like, send it here, and then it sends it everywhere.
Yep. That's what I do with Beam.
It can even do like Beam. I think it'll even do it'll change, like if you wanted to even stream to like TikTok in a vertical format.
Yeah,
I think it'll let you do that as well.
Yep.
So like, yeah, that's huge.
And yeah, there's tons of different ones you can go out to on Beam.
Right.
And then Beam is its own streaming service too, so you also get a following from there.
Yeah, and the whole Kick thing was like, I'll do it.
I feel Kick is like the Wild West.
I know, but there's like five people. There's like 5 people watching me on Kick. Just establishing a footprint over there. Because I got my username there, and I'm like, I mean, I could try it. It's literally just one click for me to do it. So I'm like, we'll try it.
Yeah.
So then use your.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I when we first started doing the Kick thing, I was like, well, I'll show everybody my revenue and we'll see how it all works out and all the terms of service. Cause that was the big thing when it was like, look how much Kick is paying me, 95%, and all this stuff. But then later I found out if you multi-stream, Kick doesn't pay out the 95%. But I'm not even to the point where I'm like partnered on Kick. So I'm still getting the 95. But it's a couple subs, but I sometimes we look at the revenue on Kick on stream. I'm just like, this is what it is. It is.
Okay.
But
Yep. And Slugger said,
So do you
"Ace Tech
stream
for the
out
win."
with OBS and you multi-stream it that way so it goes out to each one?
Yeah,
Is that how you're
OBS,
doing
and
it?
then it's just a plugin called multiple output plugin
Right.
on OBS. So then I start the YouTube stream and then click start on Twitch and Kick, and it's triple the internet that you need.
Right.
That's the
Right.
great thing about Beam and stuff, where you're only using enough internet for like
Right.
a single stream.
That's
Right.
that's
And they're
exactly
doing,
what I'm.
but I'm like
using.
tripling my internet. So yeah, it's a lot of bandwidth that I'm using up, but
Yeah.
I
'cause
happen
my
to have it, you
uploads,
know?
my
Yeah.
uploads are horrible, and so
Right. I
just-
struggled for years. For years, I dealt with Xfinity and Comcast, and I had the most horrible internet. It always drop out. The upload was bad. And I finally, after getting into this new house, I got MetroNet, which is 1 gig up and down for a
Nice.
very reasonable price. And I've been so happy with it. It's been such a relief.
Cool.
Yeah, we actually had the CEO of Beamstream on here just
Oh.
recently. So he
Yeah.
was telling us a whole lot about that kind of stuff.
Right.
I recommend multi-streaming, 100%. You
Yeah.
got to get yourself out there, you know?
So
And what I like about streaming to YouTube is it saves all the VODs. With
Mhm.
Twitch, it deletes them after a while.
Right.
right.
So I like to just keep it like as an archive, you know, all the live streams, which is really cool.
Right.
So how long did it take you to get partnered and with Twitch? I know affiliation was a lot different when we started doing that, but how long did it take you to actually get partnered and then really decide, okay, I'm doing this?
Yeah, it didn't take me maybe like a year or so after I started streaming. It was a pretty small community then, and there was some people streaming it that, you know, anybody that streamed iRacing at the time, we all kind of got together anyway, and we were raiding each other. And, you know, when back in the day, like 2014, 2015, 2016, you could count on one hand how many people were streaming iRacing on Twitch. So like anybody that wanted to watch it, you were going to get some views basically.
Right.
So maybe you get like 30, 40 viewers, and then it just started growing. And there was no affiliation back then. It was just a matter of like, Twitch was like, hey, try to meet these goals and then email us, basically. So I got like pretty decent numbers. I'm like, all right, I'm going to email them and ask them for partnership. And I was like, hey, there are no like dedicated sim racing streams out there that are partnered on Twitch. I'm like, I could be the first one, you know, It's great for the, you know, I was like really corporate with it. I'm like, this is great for the platform. And then sure enough, they did it. So I'm happy to say I was the first dedicated iRacing streamer to get partnered on Twitch.
Nice.
There's a lot of caveats there.
And you had to
Right.
write that whole email yourself back before ChatGPT would do it
Exactly.
for you. You
Wrote it
know?
myself. But yeah, so then I had a guy help me out with some notifications, and it was back in the day when like they were like, okay, we'll let you be partnered and it should kick in at some point next week. So like all of a sudden I'm streaming and I had to have all my notifications like set up beforehand, but I didn't know when I was going to get the sub button. It was just a surprise. And all of a sudden I'm streaming one day and then people start subbing and like the notification, thank goodness, worked on screen, you know. It was really archaic back then, you know.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And I remembered I was in a race and I was like so overwhelmed that I screwed up and pulled over. And I was just like, because everyone was subbing, I was like, oh, this is awesome, guys. I'm like, thank you. Because they just one day refreshed the Twitch channel and there was a big sub button there.
Right.
And I'm like, here we go. But
so it's kind of funny, you know, Neodesk said that Kick is like the Wild West. And I'm like, no, Kick is just like what Twitch was when it first started.
Kind of, yeah. Simple, basic. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
A couple more. I got to get going though, guys.
Oh,
Sure.
No problem. So I did have another question here. So how would you describe the iRacing community to someone who's never experienced it?
iRacing community is a mix between motorsports fans, real life drivers. Like it's not uncommon to get into a race with a real life driver. And there's a lot of younger kids that are using iRacing to try to get into real world motorsports, whether it's a training tool or just to get noticed. Esports is huge on iRacing, but I would say we're just mostly gearheads and motorsports fans and we want the thrill of racing, but no, most of us can never do it in real life. But there is that path to IRL racing through sim racing. I mean, William Byron started on iRacing. He wins NASCAR races. You know, I mean, it's huge. They got a bunch of programs for kids to get involved. I mean, they run the whole iRacing college NASCAR series, and I've heard about people that have sim rigs at their college and in esports in their school. So I'd say iRacing is probably the best training tool for motorsports. It's the best online competition platform for motorsports. Whether any discipline that you want, it's there for you, and it's a fun, semi-family friendly, wholesome environment to have fun, you know. and do what you want, race.
Yeah. And that's what we should really say, you know, do what you want, race, and don't. I always tell people when they're on here going like, oh, I'm trying to be the next Matt Malone, I'm trying to be the next this. It's like, don't try to be the next, you know, the next PewDiePie. Try to be the first whatever you are, you know.
Yep, be the best version of yourself and see where it goes.
Now, where do you see iRacing or sim racing in general going in the next, 5 years, 10 years?
It's a good question. I know there's a lot of new
derbies
competition coming out for iRacing, like LMU, and there's this new one like Project Racing, and where is it going to be in 5 years? I mean, they are. Oh, here's some. So iRacing is building their own graphics engine because they looked at all the graphics engines on the market. Like, what's the newest one?
Unreal 5.
Unreal. So they looked at Unreal and it wasn't going to meet their needs. So they decided to build. Yeah, I know, because it's mostly physics based, and I don't think Unreal is. You know what I'm saying? It's more visual,
I could see that.
like
it's not made for that. It's made for like.
So they decided to build their own graphics engine, which was like, I'm like, whoa, that's pretty ambitious. But that is in the process. So I would imagine in the next 5 years that'll be out. But it's sim racing as in general, I think it's just becoming more and more mainstream. There's more companies getting involved in making sim racing equipment. More and more people are learning about it. It's a good, wholesome training tool for people, like a good hobby, a good, thing for. I think it's great for kids because it's almost. I would say it almost falls under the same type of thing as like karate. Like, why do you put your kids in karate? So they can learn like respect for others and discipline. And same thing with golf. Like with golf, you kind of, you're supposed to be honorable in your penalties and, play the gentleman's game and stuff like that. So I think about it kind of in that same way, where it's good for kids to learn. And, but it's fun. I mean, the optimization, the computers are just going to get better and better. The graphics are going to get better. The physics, the damage model, it's just going to keep improving because iRacing does a quarterly update. So every quarter of the year, they bring in new content, update the game, better tire model, better physics, and all that stuff. So it's just constantly. I mean, the game was released in 2008, but it's not that same game anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when they build this new graphics engine, now it's definitely not going to be the same. And then iRacing has now created iRacing Studios, and they're releasing NASCAR 25, and they're going to have a standalone IndyCar game, and they're coming out with an iRacing arcade game and stuff like that. So yeah, NASCAR 25 comes out in November. The iRacing actually sent me to North Carolina recently to try out the new game and visit their studios and all that stuff. And yeah, so that's a big deal. So I'm excited to play that. So yeah, I mean, it's just going to get bigger and bigger, and hopefully people stick around, and hopefully there's more people that enter the community because I'm always up to get in a race with them.
Yeah.
So then I have kind of a business side of it. Is you said you had an LLC of this. How hard was it to do that and get yourself established that way?
So I got it all figured out after I finally found like a tax guy that spoke my language. So I
Right.
Googled, I sat there and Googled like in my area tax guys, and I had a list of 15 people. And the very last guy, finally, he's like, oh yeah, he's like, I do taxes for people that stream on Twitch. I got a guy that makes videos for Amazon. I'm like, you're my guy. Because I went through and the one guy I called, I'm like, hey, do you have any experience with doing any like online, revenue coming in from online streams or YouTube or anything? He's like, well, I'm more of a hammer and chisel kind of guy. And he's like, if you got a W-2, I can figure that. I'm like, okay, next. But no, I found a guy, and the one guy, the tax guy that I'm using, he's a younger guy, and he says one of his clients does commentary on Twitch for 2K basketball, the NBA 2K basketball. So he's like big time streamer, I guess. But basically with the LLC, yeah, he set it all up. He's like super smart, like, a little bit on the spectrum smart, which is perfect because he's focused.
Right.
But I was sitting there and I'm like, here's all the stuff I got. And he's clacking away on his computer. He's like, oh yeah, I know about iRacing. My dad was talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, okay, I did your taxes. And he shows me the screen. I'm like, okay, you're the guy then.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, with that, yeah, the LLC is super easy to set up, but there's like a certain threshold. Like if you make X amount of dollars at a certain point, you should set up an LLC, because then now you're like doing payroll and
right.
You save money on some of the taxes, basically.
Tax write-off on like some of your gear and all
that. I mean, you could always do that, but it's basically like you don't want to pay Social Security and Medicare based on 100% of all the money you make. You only want to pay that on a percentage of it, because that's what the employee is getting paid.
Right.
So you're not saving that much. But yeah, I mean, anything that I buy or anything, I just keep track of everything, and it's just a little bit of a write-off. But I mean,
I was very curious about that, because I was going to go talk to somebody and I haven't done it yet, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing, I mean, all these guys, they'll talk to you for free. You just talk to them over the phone, just give them your situation, and they'll know exactly what to do. But I mean, listen, the government's going to get their money.
Oh yeah.
There's no saving money. It's just having it organized better, so you understand how you're giving the government all your money. Be like, oh, I get it. But to have it all figured out. And
now, do you have an editor or anything like that? Or
I do not.
Do you all
my
editing
wife's
yourself?
been telling me to get an editor, and I'm like, I can't really pay him much,
Right.
She's like, well, you got to get somebody
you could
new.
just pay your wife, right? Have her do your editing. I was trying to get mine to do mine, but she hasn't done it yet.
It'd be a situation where I'd have to find someone that's looking to make a name for themselves, and they want the exposure more than anything else. And then you just give them a percentage of their YouTube revenue, and it's like, well, it's not going to be much. But yeah, eventually I think I'm going to go that route and just see what they come up with. Cause it would be nice to like have them just make like quick fun edits of the, stream highlights and stuff, and just put it out there as advertisement, and stuff like that. But
I know like Opus Clip and stuff like that will do it for you, but a lot of times that's not exactly the best way to go.
Yeah. And right now the Twitch vertical stuff is great. Like if there's one clip that was really cool, like 30 seconds, like Twitch will turn it into a vertical format for you, and you can edit it a little bit and then pump it out to all your channels. But it's not like a collection of clips, it's just a quick 30-second thing. But that is great. Like after a stream, I'll go on Twitch, go to the clips, make them, it already makes it vertical for you. And then with one button, boom, TikTok, Instagram, you can download it for Twitter. It makes it really easy. So that's like the one good thing I've seen Twitch do in the last 12 years.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep, Matt, I know you said you're going to have to get going here pretty soon. Is there anything you'd like to promote that you're going to be doing? Any socials you'd like to promote or anything like that?
Basically, if anybody wants to find me, you can just Google my name, Matt Malone. Now, when you Google the word Matt Malone, okay, may get three things. Now, there is a priest by the name of Matt Malone. That is not me.
That's not you.
There's also a famous garbage picker by the name of Matt Malone. Apparently, he finds some real nice treasures and he records it. That's not me. It's Matt Malone. Matt Malone TV, Matt Malone, Twitch, Instagram, everywhere. you'll find me. We got a nice Discord with everybody involved that sell merch. I got my own web. Probably the website would probably be the best. MattMaloneTV.com. Everything's there. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say I found you on Twitter. It's your face, so I'm like, yeah, that's the one. You know,
well, yeah, that's like YouTube. You try and put in my name, and Neo comes up, and it's always the Matrix, and I'm like, no, that's not what I'm going for.
Yeah. Well, I had my original username when I first got started was Showdown 1983. But since we use our real name on iRacing, Matt Malone, so I'm like, I should probably switch everything to just my real name, which is usually not advisable, obviously. But
usually you have that anonymity.
But with iRacing, the accountability factor where you have to have your real name on iRacing, and that's how people see it. And so I'm like, makes sense. So we'll go with it. But anyway.
Yep, and I saw here that Neodeath had just put up what Drew Blaster says. I fell for the priest the first time.
Lord have mercy, am I right?
Yeah, that's like with my name too. I actually put my real name in Google and I found out that I was a famous soccer player in Germany, and I was like, no, I'm not. Do I look like a soccer player? Well, actually, today I kind of do. But
right.
I've never Googled my name.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming on and hanging out with us. And we'd love to have you back on at some point.
Yeah, this was fun, man. You guys are a blast, man. Great questions and good flow. So, no, I appreciate it.
And then when they do have that expo again, that would be really cool just to go see.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, definitely. Once I find out more about it, maybe I'll get back on and we'll talk about it.
Definitely.
Yeah, sure. Sounds
good. Sure.
So, well, thank you again for coming and hanging out with us. And Koimiya and Neodeath, did you guys want to keep going and we'll talk about the Nintendo Direct here?
Yeah, we can do a little bit of it in this end.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, get after it, gentlemen. We'll see you.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good one. All right. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Again, Matt and I actually did go to school. The first time I actually had any real interaction with him, I was sitting in front of him in study hall, and I think he just made,
cheating off of him.
Either that or kicking his chair, or he was kicking your chair.
Over your shoulder with my one good eye.
So, So actually, growing up in school, a lot of people made fun of me for my eye and stuff like that. And he was one of the people that was like the nicest kids to me. So, and it was always real nice.
I'm not gonna stop.
People.
He's a bully.
No, people have asked me, like, how would you describe him in school? And it was like, him and I kind of fed off of each other. So we kind of class clowns. So, but we really had just a couple classes together, but it was always fun. It was always fun hanging out with him. And it's even more fun when you're an adult and you can actually start swearing a little bit. Not have the teacher be like, hey, go to the principal's office.
Right.
Yeah. Well, no, like I said, I didn't know you guys knew each other. And that's why I was like, why is this big time streamer coming on our shit show?
Our nobodies.
Yeah, we're a bunch of nobodies, and this guy's coming on.
For people watching, that's why we called it Garbage In, Garbage Out, because we were just a bunch of nobodies talking shit on the internet. And then all of a sudden, somebody was like, "Hey, yeah, I'll talk to you." And then we have the CEO of Beamstream, and I'm like, we might have poofed here. There we go.
Yeah. So, it's a coding term. You get it puts out what you put in, and so since we talk garbage, we put out garbage.
But on a different note here, I can't think of any other way to transition except for this.
Okay.
There was another big thing that happened this week, which was actually just the other day.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Borderlands 4 out.
Yeah.
Borderlands 4. The other big thing besides Borderlands 4.
There is no other big thing besides Borderlands 4.
Yes, there's this little company, little itty bitty company. Not a lot of people have heard about them. Called Nintendo.
What's a 19 do? How do you say that? Never heard of this company. No, so
the trading cards guys.
Yeah, weren't they a trading card?
Started out as a trading card company.
Yeah, what was that in the 1800s or like late
Yeah.
1800s?
Playing cards.
Late 1800s playing cards.
But yeah, they had their Nintendo Direct. I don't think they even announced that a Direct was happening until what, like the night before or like
Yeah,
that day?
they held it close to the chest. Kind of people were already like speculating that it was coming, and they had pinpointed the day, but Nintendo being Nintendo, they're not going to tell you to literally the day before.
Or
And
same
then they're
day.
like, yeah, or same day. And then usually Nintendo usually does it on Thursdays, but obviously Thursday was the 11th, so they didn't want to do it that day, so it was the Friday instead.
Okay. Yeah, and it was kind of interesting. I think the group that we have on Facebook, I didn't know anything was happening until, was it you, Neodeath, that posted it?
Yeah.
And
Once I knew about it, I'm like, oh, I want to watch this live. Unfortunately, I had to work then also, so I watched it while I was working. And yeah, I mean, it had some meh moments in my opinion.
From the collective readings that I've seen online, the overall thoughts are it went over like a lead fart. Like there was nothing. People are like, "Where's the new Mario? Not a remaster. Where's the new
Right
Zelda?
when they went, the first thing they went to was the movie, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, we're getting our next installment of Mario.
I thought it was gonna be Mario
Odyssey
Galaxy
2.
3.
Yeah, something. I thought that was going to be a game, and then they're like, "Oh, it's the movie." I'm like, "Oh, fuck."
The movie is
all right. Yeah, okay. I'm hyped, but not as much as I was for a game, a new Mario game.
You wanted the game, but got the movie, and then you were like, so it was like if they had said, "Okay, here's the new movie," or you knew that was going to be on the heels of a game announcement, you'd have been more excited.
Right.
Yeah, and I did like that they said they made a special announcement that Chris Pratt and Anya Joy Taylor and Jack Black and all them are coming back voicing the characters again. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why would you switch that up?
Right.
And they're probably under contract anyways for a couple movies.
Probably 3, I would assume.
Usually that's what they do.
But I do have
then the next thing they do is the Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and I was like, okay, and that was kind of already rumored that they were going to do 2, a remaster of 2, because 1 came out 5 years ago, right, when they did the All-Star that big collection.
Yeah,
it was in that one, so everybody's like, well, where's 2? So that was the speculation that it was going to be a remaster of that, but now it's a collection of both.
That's cool.
It's not bad.
2 separately as well, I saw, because for those people that have already bought the collection that has 1 in it, you can buy 2 separately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they didn't really put a whole lot of emphasis on it, but
no, they didn't. I didn't even know that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't even think I played. I was trying to think of it while it was going. I'm like, I don't think I ever played 2 when it first came out. I played the first one because that was on the Wii, but I don't think I played 2.
I haven't played either.
They're fun. They're a good platformer.
Well, I mean, they're Mario games. Mario games are always fun, but I was just really hoping for Super Mario Galaxy 3. But I did see they also announced there was a DLC coming up for Donkey Kong Island.
DLC is very loose on that. Hey, I had that up. Thank you.
Sorry. We are professional here sometimes.
DLC seems very loose on that. Like they're giving you the island that you can kind of explore, and then adding in this like other like emerald you can go farm up, and it almost looks like a time attack type stuff. And I'm like, that does not seem like very fun extra content.
That was the good thing right there. Borderlands.
The ad for it. You see, these two are obsessed with Borderlands 4. I have not played it.
I was very on the fence with Borderlands 4 after 3. it's Koimiya that talked me into getting it. And yeah, I gotta say it's been pretty fun. I've put in like 2-3 hours now, and I've enjoyed it.
And that
so
map is
far.
huge.
Yeah, I like that it's completely open world now. Like there is no load screen to go into a new zone into this and that. I do like that.
Yep.
Okay, I
And
don't know why
the
this
way
is showing
the
up.
way the way you can traverse it too. You get the glider, you get the the whip
A
thing,
grappling hook thing.
grappling hook thing. Like I like that. They've implemented some of these new things in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can I
Okay,
bring it
yeah, I'm
back
trying
now?
to get that bar to disappear, and for some reason, it's not wanting to. It did
That-
during the show, and now I got this up, and it doesn't want to.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, but yeah, they were also announced Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. That looked fun. I mean, that looked like just kind of another Yoshi game, but
It's
it did look
another
fun.
Yoshi game. But I mean, so this is Mario's 40th anniversary. Today is
Yes.
the day that it
Mhm.
is Mario's 40th anniversary. Congratulations.
No new game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
how do you not have a new game?
the
today?
thing you show off is Mario Tennis, Yoshi, and the Galaxy. Like what? Oh, and Mario Super Mario Brothers Wonder, the Switch 2 edition, where they added in some stuff, but like you don't like tease that you've got a Mario game coming later this year, or
I do have to add, what the flying fuck is Nintendo thinking with the Virtual Boy? It
Oh,
failed
yeah.
horribly when it came out. And I know their big thing is nostalgia. That's like the nostalgia you shouldn't come back to.
Nobody
That-
wants that. Not a person wanted it when it first came out. Like it
That-
literally only has like 14 games, and that is it
I-
because it was such.
And they didn't even change the design. It's still the weird, huh?
I had one.
Yeah,
Did
I
you?
had one too, but
Yeah,
they didn't
I
really
didn't.
change the design.
I
Except
would
making
not buy it
bigger.
because it was so horrible.
I had
I didn't even think
one-
my buddy who like had every system under the sun. He never got that one because it was so bad.
There's only, well, not counting the Odyssey, there's only 2 other systems that I've never owned, and that was the 3DO and the CDI.
Mhm.
Mm.
So, but at some time or another, I've had every other system, not counting handhelds. Handhelds are a different story, but
Right.
legit
Talking home
systems.
consoles.
Yeah. 3DO, CDI, and the Odyssey back in the day, because that was even before I was born.
Yeah.
So, I started with the
3DO,
Atari.
or was that the Jaguar that was like super fucking expensive?
It was
back
the
in
3DO.
that time? Yeah.
It was the 3DO.
I was like, geez,
Well,
who the
no,
fuck can
it's also
afford that?
the Neo Geo was really fucking expensive as well.
Mm.
So, like, I think they wanted like $400 for their cartridges and things like that. But,
Right.
So,
But
I mean,
yeah,
with that Virtual Boy, I mean, you remember the red characters and everything, and it
Mhm.
was like everything there. I had one, and so one, they didn't really change the design. Yeah, they made it a little bigger so you can put your Switch and Switch 2 in there, and it can adapt. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit the mic, but it can adapt to it. But it's like it's still that red stuff. That red, what do you call it? The graphics and everything are just like they look like they're still going to give you that migraine that they gave you back in the like mid 90s when it first came out.
oh yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know who was sitting at a meeting and was like, you know what we should do? We should bring back the Virtual Boy. It did so well back then. People are gonna love this. Oh, and we'll give you a little thing you can buy for $100 so you can make it feel like the actual Virtual Boy. Like who greenlit that? Like why? Like you could be working on remastering all these other games that we want on either the GameCube, N64, Super Nintendo, any of these systems, and you go with the fucking Virtual Boy.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, they did do the mini versions of a lot of those other ones, so maybe they were just like, "Oh, well, let's try this one." It's
Yeah.
And you gotta pay for the service too to get those games, and then you have to buy the $100 thing, or there is a cardboard version for like $25. But still, like, why?
A lot of it seems like it's a cash grab.
Nostalgia.
Yeah. But it's nostalgia of what? Everybody hated that system. It did
It's
not
a history.
sell.
Though. It's part of Nintendo's history, and you got these
Right.
younger kids who have never even experienced it,
I guess.
and they're gonna go, "Mom, buy that for me," and
And then
Yeah.
they're going to get the same headache we had back in the day trying it.
it doesn't matter. Nintendo's already got their fucking money,
True.
So
But it was such a weird setup. Like you can't really. It's not attached to the console, and now this one you put the console in it, and it's like, what am I gonna do? I still gotta like either lay on my stomach and put my head up here, or put it on the dining room table and sit there and do this. It was like, and then I remember seeing the guy yesterday when they were announcing it. It was like, this is just like that, where you had to put it there, and you had the hands over this, and you're sitting there looking at this, and it's like, stop. Stop.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
So as you can tell, we are not fans of that Virtual Boy.
I don't know anybody that was a fan of that when it first came out. Like, it was the same response back then. Like that, it didn't go over well. I remember trying it even in like a Walmart, and I'm like, oh, this is horrible.
I tried it at Blockbuster.
Oh wow,
Video.
Blockbuster
They
had
had them there. Yeah.
Okay.
My dad bought me one, and that's why I had it. And of course, you know, I'm a little kid. I'm like, yeah, this is great. Ow, this is amazing.
I was gonna say, how can you see the 3D in that?
I don't see it really coming at me, but it does put the picture together so I can see it.
Okay. I mean, that is like the stepping stone for like the 3D for eventually for the 3DS. I can see where, you know, you start there and then you move on, but it should not be part of like, oh yeah, let's bring that back. Everybody will want to play that.
Yeah. Now there was other games that happened to it. No, we just kind of went on a rant there.
Yeah.
I don't know who's excited for this, but Power Wash 2. The fact that Power Wash Simulator got a second one means that there was enough demand behind it.
Have you played Power Wash?
No.
It's fucking great. It's
would you
such
say
a
it's
great,
fantastic?
Oh, it's totally fantastic. It's
Okay.
such a great, relaxing time waster. One of those where you're like, I want to play a game, but I don't want to think.
Oops. That's not
You
right.
just put on Power, and my kids absolutely love it too. And it's just so don't knock Power Wash until you try it. And I believe it's free with Plus, or it was free with Plus at one point. And
I was gonna say, like, okay, so Power Wash 2, it's probably going to be on every system. Why is Nintendo like, there's a game just so because it's on the Switch too?
Because then
you
Nintendo
get another
has
game
games to show off.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at their thing, it's like, okay, remaster, DLC.
Yeah.
Like, you know, here's some Pokemon DLC for a game that's not even fucking out yet. You know,
it's Pokemon. It's going to do well. So
yeah,
right.
Although I found it hilarious that Nintendo's now trying to copyright the catch and release aspect of the game.
Yeah.
That's probably against Pal World.
But,
yes, it is.
I mean, how many other games? Temtem does that too. I mean, how many other games have? I mean, Digimon had the catch and release,
right? Digimon.
And so I mean, it's like,
and now with the other one, the Pokemon, that they're trying to turn it into like, you know, a survival game, what's the word I want? Animal Crossing style, where you know you're building up your area, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was also Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment. That looked pretty fun, but I mean, Hyrule Warriors is always fun. Most of the time anyway. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
So that's their other like big holiday one that's coming out. It was in the middle of the goddamn stream, and it wasn't very long. You only showed us like one new thing that she can get on a bike, and then finally give us a release date, and that was it. Like, what? This is your next big thing besides Pokemon that's coming out during Christmas time.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I saw they had the Mario Tennis Fever, which, I mean, it looked fun. It's a Mario sports game, but I wanted a new Mario mainline game.
Right.
Pokemon Legends Zeta A, and of course the Switch 2 edition, because they had to have 2 different announcements for that. That looks fun. If you're into Pokemon, you'll like that, I think. And then you had Pokemon Legends Zeta A Mega Dimension.
That's the DLC.
That's the DLC.
The DLC for the game that's not out yet, like you were talking about.
Yep.
They had also brought up the Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which a great game, but you're just telling me it's coming out on Switch 2. I still want a new mainline Mario game. I can't stress that enough. Another Pokemon, what is that? Pakapia? I'm not sure how to say.
That's the Animal Crossing style one.
Now, this is kind of on the Tamagotchi life, which, remember those old Tamagotchis?
Yeah, and this is like you're making Mii's or Wii's or whatever the hell they were from the system, and then you put them on here, and all of a sudden they got this weird fucking digitized voice.
Oh, the amiibo.
Yeah,
is that the one with the amiibo?
No.
Okay.
You know, remember when you had a Wii, you had to make a Mii character that was like you in this weird form. So now you're making a bunch of these characters and you're putting them on an island to interact with. And then they have in the game, it has this weird fucking voice, AI voiced for each character. And I'm like, oh my God, is that weird? I don't know what we're trying to do with that.
They're doing stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, again, who is this for? Who are you making these games for?
Then they had Kirby Air Riders. I think they had announced that one before.
They had already announced it. They had already done. They had already done a presentation, its own dedicated, like 45-minute direct. Then they say there's going to be another one on this. Like, why are you pushing this game so hard? It's another fucking racer. Nobody wants a racer. We didn't want fucking Mario Racing right at the beginning, and now you're giving us another one that's super old that you updated? Great. And it's Kirby? Who cares? Like, Nintendo, well, I don't know what they're doing.
If think about it. Think about like what they did with the live service games. Once one hit with what was that? I think PUBG came out before Fortnite, but once that hit, everybody had to have their own battle royale kind of stuff, you know?
Right.
Now, the racers have been a hit. Now they want to put out as many as they can. It's basically just chasing the dollar. I don't want to say Nintendo gets greedy, but they're a big
Nintendo gets greedy,
company, but they can.
Greedy. Nintendo is the greediest of the greedy because they'll go after. They don't give a fuck if you're a small little company. If you stole their fucking IP, they're gonna make you pay fucking millions
out the ass for it. Then there was Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined. So just another remaster.
Just give me fucking 12 already.
The remaster did look good. But
but give me 12.
Right.
Yeah. And then Resident Evil Requiem, which is essentially Resident Evil 9. And then they announced that Resident Evil Biohazard and Resident Evil 8 are going to be on the Switch too. If they can make that look as on the system as good as it did in the trailer, I'll be surprised. But again, I'll probably play these games on other systems. Just
the other thing is, so the Biohazard and the Village, so 7 and 8 come out the same fucking day as Requiem. What the fuck are you doing? Put that out beforehand so that your base can get ready for 9, and then they just roll right into 9 and pick it up, and they're ready to go. But no, you have them.
Here's the thing, though. How many people are buying Biohazard and Village on Switch 2 that have never played it before?
If they've never played the newer Resident Evils, they might go, hey, I've got this new system. Let me play these games because I've never played them and I want to get ready for 9. You could get some that way. I'm not saying a ton.
So here's the thing. I have a friend who has a Switch 2, and he's been buying a lot.
Is his name Neodeath?
No. He's been buying a lot of the same games that have already come out on the other systems
just to try them, or
just
she
to see
wants
how it runs on the
how
Switch
it
2.
runs.
And it's like, so I don't know. I think that releasing all three of them on the same day isn't really. I don't want to say it's not dumb, because, like I said, everybody on Switch 2 is probably going to be buying 9 first before the other two.
Right.
Mm.
So
Unless you had
more
like a
for
package where you got like all of them.
and they might even have one of those,
Right.
So,
Maybe they just haven't announced it as a package.
but
Yeah, but the way they said it was, here's 9, and by the way, on that same day you can get these 2.
yeah,
Okay.
I think those other 2 are for people who just want to see how it runs on the Switch too,
Yeah.
See how badly it crashes?
because there's not really many first party games coming out on the Switch 2
No.
anytime soon.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, that's Nintendo. They did not get the dev kits out, and the people have said that it's hard to get dev kits for this new system.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like steady way you used to be able to like contact them to get them. So Nintendo, I think, is just really shooting themselves in the foot on this console cycle.
At least right at the beginning. Remember, we're right at the beginning. It's very
Right, but
much
I mean,
new
they're
territory.
already running behind because they're always a step behind what is current technology. So the Switch 2 finally brings it up to PS4, maybe some PS5 graphics, and PS5's already onto the Pro and thinking about what's coming out in the 6. And Nintendo's always going to be that one that's behind, just
Well,
because
I don't really
they want to
see them
be handheld, or they want to have some sort of gimmicky thing in their software or their hardware. Oh,
I don't
No,
know.
I get
I mean, like my one friend said that he was impressed with how well the Switch 2 has handled Cyberpunk.
Mhm.
He said that the basketball, the NBA 2K, is pretty well on the Switch 2. So I mean, things can be done, but then at the same time, I've heard one of the reasons why we haven't really seen much of the Elden Ring on Switch 2 is because behind closed doors, it looks like hot ass, So, who knows?
Well,
Who knows?
and what I was gonna say here, Neodeath, was you're talking about like bringing it up to the speed of like PS4, PS5 graphics wise. Well, I mean, Miyamoto said one time, like, it's if you only have powerful consoles, it's like having only ferocious dinosaurs. They'll kill each other off, and then there'll be nothing left. I know it was a meteor that killed them, but it's still, But I mean, think about it. They would have been
I get the
expensive on-
metaphor. I get the
Yeah.
metaphor, yes, but Nintendo is all. Well, I mean, Nintendo, when they first started, yes, they were the base that you based your system off what they were doing. So when Nintendo went to 16-bit, everybody fucking jumped to 16-bit. When Nintendo went to 32, 64, everybody followed suit. And then when they didn't combine with Sony on the PlayStation, they fucking got left behind because they thought cartridges was the fucking way to go. They didn't want to move forward and go into disc and more polygons and continue that. So then they got left behind. So then they're like, well, shit, we got to reinvent ourselves. Let's put some gimmicky thing like the fucking Wii into it.
That's the thing, though, is like, Nintendo is the one that innovates how we play. I mean, the Wii got people.
Yeah, but
they got off their asses and got on the
come
couch.
into to PlayStation or Xbox? Do those things ever go?
Yes.
Let's put that all into those games.
They did. I mean, you had the PlayStation Move and you had the Xbox Connect, and while it worked
They
very
didn't do
well on
what they
Nintendo,
were going to do.
shit failed on those other two systems.
I mean, it only worked for them because they brought it out and they innovated it. Yes, but then after a while, shit gets boring, and I want a more powerful system. I want better graphics. I want all the things.
Oh, that's what they're giving us now.
Mhm.
They're maybe still a step behind, but they're getting there.
But when are they going to finally, be up with Sony? And usually Sony and Xbox, they release kind of close together, and Nintendo's always a couple years down the road they release theirs, and they're still putting out keys. There's even though some of them they only have like a key that you can go download it, like that doesn't make any sense. Why would you have a cartridge that does that?
But why keep up with Sony and Microsoft when you can be off to the side doing your own thing? I mean, if you look at the sales, Nintendo still beats Microsoft and Sony. It goes Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft
For a while, and then in the long run, usually PlayStation wins.
I think with longevity, yes.
Yeah,
I think the sales take off right away because usually Nintendo's systems are also cheaper than
usually, yep.
the others.
Or you want, like I said, Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda, Metroid. Those are your main ones why you're buying a Nintendo system.
Yep.
Would you really want a Zelda game made with Unreal
we
Engine
didn't get
5?
any of that yet.
Right. What was that, Cyclops?
I was saying, would you really want a Legend of Zelda game made in Unreal Engine 5 so that Link
Fuck
kind of looks
yes.
like Kratos,
I would love. I've seen some videos that people have put out with them on you're like, oh my god. And that that's the other thing. Zelda also has an anniversary coming up. Same 40 years. So there's rumors that they're gonna redo Ocarina of Time, and it would be fucking fantastic if they finally updated that, like even into like Breath of the Wild type graphics, or Unreal 5 graphics to play that game would be, oh my god, I would love that. And then add in another dungeon, do something for the fans that we've been here for a while. That's the game that everybody's like, oh my god, I love that game. Or like even like what they did with Mario, have a collection of all your Zelda games together.
Right.
Which they did on the Wii.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah, they did. But
games, but it was like they had the Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 from the NES back in the day on the Wii.
I mean, they've remade A Link to the Past, or not Link to the Past, Link's Awakening.
Yep.
And that was really good. I liked that. I enjoyed that, with updated graphics and everything.
Well, it was originally also a Game Boy game, so
right.
So,
well, they also had it on Advance too.
Yeah. With the other games that they were talking about here, they
had. We got off on a tangent there. Or I got off on a tangent. That's
Squirrel.
Dangan, how did you say this? Danganronpa 2x2?
Sure.
Yeah, this game, I don't remember much of it because I was working when that was announced.
It was another like remaster, I think, of an older game.
Okay.
And they've updated a couple of the things for it.
All the things. Then they announced Hades 2, which looked pretty cool, I thought.
Is Hades 2 out, or is it still?
I thought it was still in early access.
Is it? I couldn't remember on that one if it's actually come out or.
Let's see here. I mean, so it's got a. Okay, yeah, it's an early access review.
Okay.
They give it a 9 out of 10 here. It says initial release will be May 5th of 2024, but that is for the access. I think they don't have an official date on Hades 2 yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't remember on that one if it was already out and it was just coming to the Switch now instead of with all the other ones, kind of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Hades 2, then there was what is this? Suika Game Planet? Kind of one of those that's
sure.
One of those, yeah. Yeah, I didn't have much of an opinion on that, so I'm not gonna say I did. Mario Tennis, we already talked about the Virtual Boy. We don't need to get off on another tangent about that. Storm Lancers. I thought that looked fun. It wasn't something I was like, oh, I have to get this day one, but I thought it looked fun. Dinkum, Don't remember much about that one.
Another Animal Crossing style game where you're on an island and you're building up and doing that kind of stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. I thought they were going to announce an actual like new Animal Crossing. That was kind of some of the rumors that were going around that they
Mhm.
were going to announce the new Animal Crossing coming to the Switch too.
After they like all these rumors about the new Wolverine game or Spider-Man 2 DLC kept coming out, and then they never announced it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna. Anytime there's rumors, I'm not gonna believe anything until I hear it from the actual.
I mean, sometimes you can like this whole thing where they were talking about it before Nintendo actually announced it. They were saying that there was going to be like 2 or 3 games that have 7 in the title, and and then it happens. So you're like, they got some credibility.
Yeah.
So it depends on who it is that you're getting it from.
Jeff Grubbs, I trust him when it comes to Sony stuff.
So,
yeah. PopUcom? I don't remember much about that, so I must have been working that when that was announced.
I can't even remember that one. Maybe I wasn't by my phone when that one was going off.
Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. So, and I remember, if I remember, I didn't. Koimiya, didn't you say you were excited for that one?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
probably not on the Switch too, though.
Not on the Switch too. No, I don't care about that. I'll be getting it on the PS5, but
yep,
yeah.
And anybody in chat, you can always let us know your opinions on any of these games as well. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Integrate. So, I mean, if they did a good job with Cyberpunk 2077 on the Switch too, I don't see why they couldn't do the same with a Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I read somewhere that they're actually adding in a bunch of stuff for Final Fantasy VII on the Switch too.
Oh, are they?
Basically will quality of life features that'll basically make you godlike in the game. There's like like infinite mana, infinite health, things like that. A lot of people are like, get good, play the game the right way, and things like that.
See if I'm confused. I've been really confused about this 7 because I know there's 2 different 7s right now that they've put out, right? So which one is this? Is this the first part 1?
Yeah, I
remake,
think so.
Integrate, is that remake, part 1?
Yeah. Remake,
or is it both of them combined, part 1 and part 2 together?
No, it's part 1
of the 7 thing.
And then Integrate was actually like a DLC that included
Yuffie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, summary, the evil power. Okay, so it doesn't really tell you much if it's going to be the 2, but yeah. I think it's just going to be, I think Koimiya is right on that one.
Yeah. Now that he said that, I was like, oh yeah, there was that DLC with Yuffie.
Yeah. So here's the added Integrate cheats, more or less, for Switch 2. Streamlined progression mode that allows players to have unlimited MP and HP, unlimited limit and ATB gauges, 9,999 damage, so you can basically one-shot everything.
So they just included like Game Genie codes into it?
Pretty much, yeah. So
why is it? That's just the Switch version you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has not been mentioned being added into the PlayStation version.
Why does the Switch version? Because of kids?
I'll bet they get it because it's
frustrated with it.
Could be.
Remake does have some parts where I'm just like, this is. I got pissed off.
Yeah, same thing.
It says here, these features aim to provide a more enjoyable experience for players, especially those who may not be as skilled in traditional gameplay. So
basically making it okay for kids.
Yeah, so kids that have never played an RPG, like, okay, here you go. You can just go one-shot everything.
Yeah. So
I guess good thing they don't have trophies.
Right.
All right. The next one they had was a linked Banner of the Spark. That was one that kind of looked fun. Again, not one that I'm going to buy right away.
Yeah, it's another remake, though. It's already out on all the other systems, and now they're finally getting it.
Here's the one that I got excited for. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake. Now, I was afraid that was going to be just a Nintendo exclusive, but it turns out that is coming out on all platforms. I am really excited about this. This is kind of like in the same realm. I think the one that I could closely relate this with would be the Silent Hill franchise.
Right.
Yeah, it's very psychological. You play as two sisters. You get stranded in this town, and then as you go to try to find your way, get help and find your way out, you find out that this town has a lot more to hide than you initially thought. And of course, then you're being as you're the one that you play as is getting stronger, your other sister is slipping slowly into madness. So it's like the stronger you get, the more unstable she becomes. So it's a really great game. If you ever got a chance to play the originals, you'll really like this one. If you're a fan of horror games, a fan of psychological horror, not just necessarily straight up action horror, but psychological horror, this is going to be a fun one.
Okay.
So I'm very excited for that one. You also had EA Sports FC 26. Who cares? It's a sports game.
Right.
If you like sports games, that's fine. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remake. We've talked about how many of these are remakes.
That's actually a good one, though.
That one is?
One.
Yeah.
That's a day one for me, but on the PS5, I don't have a Switch 2, but
right. It's in the mail.
Because the Dragon Quest, which was originally Dragon Warrior.
Right.
Well, it's Dragon Quest in Japan. It's always been Dragon Quest. When they brought it to the States, it was Dragon Warrior. And Dragon Warrior 1, which is this remake, is the remakes of 1 and 2. Dragon Warrior 1 was the first RPG that I actually ever played because Nintendo Power had a deal going where if you got the year subscription, they sent you a free copy of Dragon Warrior 1.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin got the subscription for Nintendo Power, and he had already bought Dragon Warrior 1 on his own, and so he gave me the copy that came with his subscription. So
I didn't know they had that deal with that.
Yeah, way back in the day when Nintendo Power first came out. And so I can't wait for this remake. I've already got because they it's weird, the series of the games, because there's Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 are like a trilogy, but 3 is the first one in the story. So they've already done the remaster remake of Dragon Quest 3.
Right.
And now 1 and 2 are coming out.
Okay.
And so
so it goes 3, 1, 2?
I don't remember if it's 3, 1, 2,
actual
if it's
story.
3. I don't remember if it's 3, 1, 2 or if it's, I believe it is, but I don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I know. I knew that one went weird. I mean, just like the Final Fantasies, from Japan to here, how we missed quite a few of them.
Yeah. I believe it was 3, 1, 2. Yes, and those were, to the best of my knowledge, also because, like I said, Dragon Quest. I mean, the main series line is up to Dragon Quest 12 now, I think, or 11, and I'm waiting for 12. But I think 3, 1, and 2 are the only ones that are like
cohesive.
Cohesive, all for the same family bloodline.
All right.
But again, I'm not positive on that. It's been so long since I've played any of the other Dragon Quest games. But I know 3, 2, and 1 are definitely all tied together.
Right. Then one I'll bet Neodeath, you're probably excited for Lego Voyagers.
It seems very kiddie. Like Lego keeps trying to do games, and back in the day when they would do them, and they didn't have any speaking, and they would just have funny things going on while trying to still show Star Wars. Those were hilarious and really fun games. Yeah, those are really good. And then they integrated that, or they'd go open world with the old Lego Marvel ones, and there was just so much to do, and it took forever to plat those ones.
No, you absolutely loved the Lego Lord of the Rings.
Lego Lord of the Rings.
I think I platted it.
Yeah. I have that. I mean,
wasn't that the first one that they could talk?
No, it was one of the Star Wars ones, I believe. Was it? Or was it a Marvel?
No, I think it was the Star Wars.
I think it was Star Wars.
Because I know Pirates of the Caribbean was still the Simish language. But yeah, I think it was a Star Wars one.
Okay.
But that Lego Batman, that's going to be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am really excited for the new Lego Batman.
Yeah, like that type of style where you're doing the Lego stuff, but it's still kind of action platformer type stuff.
Have you
And
played the Lego Horizons?
I
I
have not
haven't
played
yet.
that one.
It's fun.
Is it?
Yes.
Do you really have to have played the Horizon games to appreciate that the new Lego Horizon? Because I've played
No,
both of
because
them.
it's literally the first game.
I was gonna
just
say it's just the first
Legofied.
game, but Legofied, right?
Yeah. I mean, they
That's
even
why.
have,
That's kind of why I haven't done it. I'm like, I played the other one. I don't need to do it in Lego form.
It's
Is it the
hilarious, though,
same?
because they even brought Ashley Birch back to do the voice of Aloy, but because it's more kiddie, it almost sounds like, because Ashley Birch also does Tiny Tina from Borderlands, so it almost sounds like Tiny Tina trying to do Aloy, because it's got the Lego comedy, but then Ashley doing the voice of Aloy's character.
Mhm.
So I'm
She's-
laughing the whole time. So
She's one of the best voice actors working today, I swear.
oh, she's great.
Her, Tawny Platt, and I would say Yuri Lowenthal's wife. I can't think of her name. The guy that does the voice of Spider-Man. It's actually his wife did the voice of Yuri in Spider-Man the Cop, who became Wraith. I think it's Tara something, but it's not Tara Strong, which she's great too, but it's something else.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, Little Nightmares 3, that is one that I am super excited for.
I
will be
forgot
playing
about that
on-
game, honestly. I have
I
it
will-
pre-ordered. I forgot that was coming out soon.
Yep. Just honestly, I'll be playing that one on Xbox because I played the other ones on Xbox. So I'll be doing that one too on Xbox just because I want to keep it on the same.
Honestly, I haven't played any of those, so I should probably get on that.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you. You need to.
There's too many games and not enough fucking time. He was telling me to play Doki Doki while we were, waiting, and I'm like, okay, let me just invent the 25th and 26th hour of the day so I can get that done somehow.
Well, you need to figure out a way to slow the Earth's turn,
Right.
so that there's 2 more hours in the day.
Or, spin it backwards so that I can, go back in time and play it and then, move on.
Well, I think we're all in agreement. The fact that there's not enough hours in the day is Neo Death's fault.
Okay, thank you.
Not God, not the universe, not any kind of space alien or whatever that may have put the Earth here, as I've heard stories of. Nope, it's Neo Death. If you want to let him know how angry you are, you can send your angry letters here, but make sure you send it to Neo Death. Otherwise, I might think it's about me and cry. So
bring it on. My link tree is in the description. Go ahead and send it there.
I'm pretty sure Koimiya is going to send you an angry letter too, because you've told him for how many weeks that his check is in the mail and he still hasn't received it.
It is the slowest fucking mail ever. Have you ever sent anything in the mail? It takes forever.
7 to 10 business days. That's what we tell people.
How many times does it actually hit during that?
I don't know. I get a lot of people that call me up and say, it never got here. Like, I think you're lying. I don't know. But yeah, then there was Persona 3 Reload, another remaster. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection. So another Monster Hunter, which I know a lot of people are huge fans of.
Those ones, like I played the demo, I think for the first or the second one. And I actually liked those ones. Those ones are more like turn-based combat again.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually different from, the action RPG of Monster Hunter.
Yeah, possibly.
And then 2 Point Museum. I don't remember much about that.
I don't even remember them showing that one, but the 2 Point series, I think I did the college one. I had such a fun time with that game, and I platted it, and it was so fun just doing the sim thing again and the way they do it.
They did a hospital one too.
Yeah, that was the original one, was the hospital, and then the campus, and now the museum. I have not picked up the museum one yet, though.
Then another one with a 7 at the end of it. Just Genia, however you say that, 7 complete. I didn't know much about that one. Virtual Fighter SREVO. Then there was Dynasty Warriors Origins, which I thought looked fun. Again, I know it's just kind of another Dynasty Warriors, but there's nothing wrong with that.
We doing a 3-hour show today?
No,
we're almost done.
We're almost done. Dynasty Warriors, and then we don't need to go on another rant about Resident Evil. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave looked like a lot of fun. I thought
that was the one at the very end, right?
Yeah,
like they're all done, and then that rolled up, and I was not expecting to see a Fire Emblem pop up.
Yep. Overcooked 2, so more Overcooked, which looked fun. Starview Valley, I didn't
systems.
Yeah.
Right.
Stardew Valley, kind of looks like Animal Crossing, or Animal Crossing. I'm sorry,
Farmville. Simulation game.
It's another simulation that's been out for quite a long time.
I believe that one's actually free on Plus this month. If I remember correctly, I just recently added that to my library.
I think so.
Yep.
But the only difference from that one for Switch is now you can use you can use the mouse, use the controller like a mouse. That they added stuff for that. That was the main thing for that.
Yeah, and then just the last ones here, Human Fall Flat, which I thought looked fun. That looked really funny.
That one's been out forever.
I was gonna say it's another one.
One Piece Pirate Warriors 4.
I have no clue about that one.
So, all right, I'm gonna take that down. But yeah, that was kind of what
very lackluster direct.
So
for what it was supposed to be for Mario's 40th, announcing finally Metroid Prime 4 release date, because we didn't have that yet. And the other thing they were hoping for is like Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remasters.
What was the day for 4?
Comes out on December 4th.
Okay.
I mean, aside from Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake, there really wasn't anything that gave me a stand up and cheer kind of moment. So I am hoping that if Sony does put together their state of play, that is rumored to have Wolverine at the end of the month, I'm hoping that will be a lot better than what we got from Nintendo.
I highly doubt that that's going to happen.
I didn't hear that rumor. There's supposed to be
here's why I say that. I highly doubt that that'll happen, and here's why I say that is because right now they're too busy focusing on the next Ghost game. Ghost of Yoda, and with that coming out in October, that's what their next state of play is going to be.
Well, that was the last one. They just had one on Ghost of Yotai, which was at the beginning, like on the second or third.
Yeah, well, I would. It's Sony. And this is like their only. I mean, how many big games, like first party, would you say the only other one that I can think of this year was Death Stranding 2?
Yeah,
and so they're going to, like Nintendo, they're going to bastardize this new Ghost game and shove it down your throat as much as possible.
Well, I know Jeff Grubbs.
Is that the rumor that there's supposed to be a state of play at the end of this month?
They don't know if it'll be a state of play or a PlayStation experience where they announce a lot of games and then put a huge focus on Wolverine. But the big
that's the rumor. Okay.
Yeah,
I have not heard that one.
That they're going to do a showcase at the end of this month, because they did one for Ghost just a week or so ago. And then there was they're saying that if you look at Sony's history over the last few years, they usually put one at the end of September too, and then that's like when they announce or show gameplay of another game that they have coming out. That's like how they did it with Spider-Man. They had something at the beginning, and then when they came out, they were like, "Oh, here's a whole bunch of games, and now here's Spider-Man," and then gave us like a 10-minute gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I could also see them doing something where it'll be like, because since they own Bungie now, they'll be doing the Star Wars Destiny crossover that is coming out, and and so.
Oh, I didn't even know they were doing that.
Yeah, some DLC shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, even with that Nintendo Direct, like a lot of people were saying that it was going to be on this day and that. So if you get the trusted people, then they have people in the right areas that tell them, this is what's going to come out, and sometimes it plays out, sometimes it doesn't.
if I were to be an analyst, much better than Michael Pratcher. If I were to be an analyst and say anything, I would say we will probably get something at the end of September. But if we don't, and they want to focus more on Ghost, I'll bet they leave October and November alone, and then we get an announcement, more, or at least more information about Wolverine from the Game Awards.
I was going to say the Game Awards are coming up too. So
Yep. Isn't that where they initially showed the teaser trailer for it?
No, that
Couple
was
years ago?
actually that
for
was
Wolverine, no.
Yeah.
It was
No,
one of the
that-
State of Plays, wasn't it?
it was during the State of Play, because they did it where everybody thought they were showing the new Spider-Man, and then they had the claws come out and everyone freaked out, and
Right.
then they went into Spider-Man.
Hmm.
Which almost kind of dumbed down the whole Spider-Man excitement, because it was like,
Right.
you should have been like, here's Spider-Man, and now a little something extra, and then done the claw. But that's just my own thing.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, the hype is still there either way.
Yeah, I'm super excited for Wolverine.
If it's as good as like Spider-Man's gameplay is, where you could use your claws and climb up anything and destroy everything you want type thing, I think it would be really good.
Yeah.
But with his combat system.
Mm-hmm. And I like that they've actually said Wolverine is expected to get the M rating. I like that they're not watering it down for a T rating, but they do say that it's in the same world as Spider-Man. So I'm like, maybe there's potential for a crossover at some point.
That'd be cool.
But then again, it's Insomniac, and it's like, I'd also like a new Ratchet and Clank, and you should also make a new Sunset Overdrive. And god dang it, where the hell is Resistance 4?
Yeah.
And they're a smaller studio. They only work on one game at a time. I'm like, well, stop it. Work on more.
I mean, what they do put out though, is usually polished and pretty decent. So.
And they'll admit if there's a problem. Sorry, it was Sony's problem. It was Sony's fault. It was actually because of the layoffs all over Sony that they said that the end of Spider-Man 2 is a little rushed, and they were like, yeah, there was actually supposed to be like 4 or 5 more hours of gameplay where Venom actually was supposed to go after Miles and actually take over Miles, and they actually had to cut that whole thing out. About 90% of Tony Todd's work got put on the cutting room floor because they had to cut from the third act.
Huh, I did not know that.
And I'm like, well,
honestly,
DLC.
I don't think I've actually finished the second one.
Now there's something wrong with you again.
I think at that time I stopped playing console games and went to the PC and started playing WoW again and probably Magic. And
all right.
So it's always been hard to bounce between the fuse. But
all right.
Anyways, I think we've yapped enough here. I know Koimiya's getting that look of come on, wrap it the fuck up.
Yeah,
Let's
pretty
go.
much. Yep.
Well, that's because his wife is saying, come on, wrap it the fuck up.
Right. So Koimiya, you said that you're going to be possibly streaming tonight. Hopefully some Borderlands 4.
Yeah, gonna be doing some Borderlands 4. Probably like around 11 p.m. Central.
Okay.
So
I think I might try to stream that too tonight, like maybe like an hour from now or so. So I want to play some more. It's definitely got me, peaked and like, oh, I want to try and grind some stuff out. I want to try and kill that first boss a bunch of times, see if I can get some shit.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. See if I can get some shit.
I mean, basically that's what it is. And then if people don't know, for the Borderlands 4, definitely go watch somebody for 2 hours on Twitch. And then when you get back into the game, they will give you a legendary. That's actually pretty good. I don't know if it scales to you. I'm sure it probably does. But it's really good. It does fire and shock. It switches between those two, and it's what I've been using to wreck things in the very beginning. So
So
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. I'm really excited. And I might be streaming a little bit later tonight. If I continue on, I will be doing Vampire, as a lot of people are saying. It's a vampire game from Don't Nod, which are the same people that did the Life is Strange games. And this one's actually way more action oriented. Really excited to continue playing that. If I don't get to it tonight, I will be streaming it later this weekend, and I'll also probably go right into my second playthrough of it to make different decisions. So I'll be streaming that all throughout the week.
Okay. Very cool.
Yep. All right. Was there anything else you guys had to say before we log off?
No,
Nope.
it's very nice for Matt Malone to come on the show. We appreciate it.
Very
You're
much
always
so.
welcome to come back on, and hopefully as that expo comes around again, maybe we can all go there and check it out.
I'll go hang out in our old stomping grounds in the Illinois area. You know, it's kind of
Right.
funny. We were 4 people in 4 different states, and let's all meet together in the Illinois area. Illinois
Right.
brings people together.
No, it doesn't.
It really,
I was
really
gonna say,
doesn't.
no, it doesn't.
No. No. So anyway, but yeah, thank you everybody for coming and hanging out, and we will see you next time. Remember, haters gonna hate, and gamers got a game. All right.
Laters.
Good night, everybody.